so here you guys are in the Great Park. Currently, the Ulrichian priests are still doing their big ceremony, and there are still lines and lines and lines of people coming up to receive a blessing of Ulrichian blessed water. Whether or not, I mean, clearly they wouldn't have been successful in getting everybody to come and drink from here, but it looks like they've done a pretty darn good job of it. At this point, Matthew Bain and Bertilda have just strolled up to Oldet and Cadorel. Up to you guys. Take it away.
We did talk about the costs that we wanted to split for Bertilda's armor, right? Like before.
Yeah, you did all that ahead of time. Literally,
that.
As you walked up, where we finished last time was Oldet said to you,
right,
guys, we need to talk. And that's literally where we stopped.
Okay.
Because I remember saying, okay, well, knowing what the conversation is and where it leads, we're leaving it right there for next time. Yeah.
I think we did some other stuff in between, but I don't think it matters. But I think it was Bertilda and I who met the witch hunters.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
I think so. I don't remember what we did in between.
Oh,
but
that's
the boys went to the pawn shop.
We went
that's
to the
right.
And left us for forever.
That's right. Yeah, you come back, had the money discussion, and then y'all went to the pawn shop.
I don't know
to
what
hawk some wares and stuff.
We
like
went
that.
looking for the witch hunters because we heard they were looking for us.
Yeah.
And then you met the witch hunters.
Found the witch hunters, and then that's when they told y'all.
Yes.
We'll be at the.
That makes sense. I was like, I remember something happening.
That's right.
So yeah,
that's
you
right.
said
it's been a couple of weeks. We missed last session, so we got to pull all of our memories.
Yes.
Yeah, you said we need to talk to the elves.
Yes.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's Matthew Bain and Cadorel that don't know about the witch hunters yet. That is correct. Okay.
Okay. Yes, we need to talk about this.
Talk about what?
Well, you see, we found out some information at the bar where there was some people looking for us.
Oh, that's right. You two went to that really shady bar where they broker information. That's right.
I got that information. I paid arm and a leg for it.
According to Aldette and Bertilda, Cadorel and Matthew Bain went tracking the guys, but we failed miserably at that and then diverted to the pawn shop.
That's when we just went to the pawn shop to try and cut this. I figured they were going to be pawning off the thing.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't know that we went to the pawn shop. You thought we were following the people.
Exactly, but that's not nearly as important right now.
I paid a gold piece to learn about the bar that we had come from. Yeah. That's right.
Okay, yeah, sorry, continue.
Oh man, this is great. No, we found out some people were looking for us. Those friends that we met back in the forest who helped us get back. I use the term friends loosely.
Yes, the witch hunters.
Yes, those.
Mm-hmm.
They have been looking for us in regards to what has been happening with the temple. They don't know the particulars, but they are interested, and they would like to help us again.
Can I just say I don't like them? Is that allowed?
I mean, you don't have to like them to like the fact that they can help us.
I've been thinking about starting a club.
We don't like them club?
We don't like the witch hunter. I hate Smelly Girls Club, but it's called...
I would sign up for that club.
Is it gross? Is that the name of the club?
As long as it has the button.
I'm pretty sure I saw the one with the red hat spit on an old woman on the way up here.
Well, that would be difficult since they are in an area I don't think you went to following the people you were after.
No, not. I mean, earlier when.
Like when they escorted you
from
the country up into
yeah. Forget which town, but yeah, definitely spat on an old lady.
Cadorel,
kicked a puppy.
we don't have to like them.
I agree. We don't have to like them to like what they can do for us.
Right.
I mean, they would be beneficial to have see us as friends.
It's true, and they're going to get involved either way, especially with the revelation of what this involves. They're going to be involved.
And
Do we want them
we
to
need.
question us later, or do we want to involve them now?
We made a promise and they want us to break it.
Yes, there is that part.
If we were, wait, which promise exactly?
The promise that we wouldn't involve anyone or tell anyone so that we wouldn't create panic in the city.
If we told them who we were working with, do you think they would reconsider
No,
that notion?
we've tried that.
It would appear that the White Wolves are in the club already.
Sorry, they meaning the church. If we talked to the Church of Ulrich and said, hey, we have these constituents we've worked with in the past, they've been a great help to us, we could possibly utilize them the way we had in the past.
We could
see
try.
it fit to do so.
We wouldn't be able to tell them what they were because, like I said, the church is already in the club.
It's true, they don't really get along well.
Mm.
But we also only have a short period of time. What?
Lami, thanks for the resub, buddy. 64 months. Take your pants off. Hit the hype.
I guess. Look, I want to be in the good graces of the witch hunters as much as possible, right? To be seen as
I don't
cooperative.
care about them at all. Like they said mean things about the White Wolves.
Okay, Bertilda, who do you think is more competent, the witch hunters or the church?
I beg your pardon. Are you saying that the White Wolves aren't competent?
Well, their water supply was poisoned right under their noses.
And that's where I would say it's less about competency and more about the niche issues we're facing. And the witch hunters are definitely the stronger allies here. That, and I feel like they're more likely to just run forward and get mauled by the rats so we don't have to.
Bertilda, I'm going to be brutally honest. You are much more capable than anything I've seen from the White Wolves. If you started your own religion in this city, I would sign up happily because I would believe in you.
If it came with a badge, I would also...
Especially if it came with a badge.
Does your badge have... does your new club have a badge?
You did ask for a lioness emblazoned on your armor piece.
It
That's being
does.
commissioned. Instead of the white wolf, you could be the golden lioness.
This entire campaign is just derailed into us creating a religion around her.
I'm no leader, Matthew
and having
Bain.
a Boy Scout club as well that collects badges.
I fail to see why you don't consider yourself a leader. You have a good heart. You care. You're passionate. We're following you.
Really hard, Matthew Bain.
Shut up, Catterwell.
Shut up, Wesley.
Fine. I
personally think we should take their help as well, honestly.
I'm also on board with getting their help.
Oh no.
I do dislike
I think it's for a
making an
different
enemy
reason.
of the church.
Yes,
but-
I think as long as we cleared it with the church and they understood what we were doing, we wouldn't make enemies of them.
Well, we can definitely try to do that.
wait, but that's showing our cards to the church.
Yes.
But if they automatically say no, don't ever dare work with them. We
don't tell them exactly who they are. We just say that they were, by and large, mercenaries who helped us in the past with returning Father Odo back, and they proved trustworthy in terms of, we don't specify what terms of trustworthy exactly. Frankly, I just want to include them so that they don't investigate us.
I second
Which
that
they
notion.
did hint that they would do if we did not involve them.
Right.
It feels a little bit like they are
And
trying to sway us with that.
And we've all kind of waded through death, chaos, blood, so
We are not mentioning that to them.
exactly.
So let me get this straight. We are obfuscating or lying to the church and not being entirely truthful to the witch hunters, but
course.
wanting both of them to be our allies.
Yes, that is how you work in this city.
Okay.
But
I'm never going to be a white wolf like this.
Golden lioness.
That really shiny guy. Was that rumor I heard something about some princess and unfaithfulness, and they're not exactly all they're cracked up to be compared to what I've seen you do. As Matthew Bain was
I don't
saying.
think that has the effect that Catarel wanted, because when he mentions that, Bertilda just kind of looks even more depressed.
Oh, don't go kicking the dirt
It
again.
had every intent that I had, yes! Your puny short lives mean nothing to me. Okay, carry on.
I mean, I just don't think we'd get a lot out of trying to ask the church to have more people. They'd want answers to who, and we would, of course, not tell them. They'd probably say, "No, we just want you guys to be in charge." Don't you think?
There's also the issue of if we involve the witch hunters, are they going to just go kill people in the city for coming in contact with tainted water?
I probably would.
Exactly. Do we really
But on
want
the
to
other
cause
end
that
of
kind
that-
of chaos?
On the other end of that, they might make a good cleanup crew because we saw what it did to Father Odo, and people or not, they aren't people anymore once they turn into giant purple tentacle monster
It's
things.
true, but they don't usually wait for them to turn into giant purple tentacle monster things.
No, but in the event that there was one, standard civilians would probably face multiple casualties by the time they would have. I almost side with the witch hunter methodology here.
They will face casualties either way in this case.
Yes, but very possibly fewer in the results of seeking them out ahead of time. Like a preemptive strike, if you will.
What time is it?
So
Do you know what time?
You're for
you've
killing
got-
innocents?
Yeah, you've got about an hour,
Okay.
and it's probably going to take you 20 minutes to get there, maybe 30. So you've got half an hour-ish
to deal with
to
this.
decide
Okay,
before you head over to
I guess what it
the Collegium
right.
the College of Music over here.
I guess what it comes down to is this is a big city with many wells. If more wells are going to get poisoned, this charade that the church is doing with the purified blessed water in the park, it's not going to affect or go to everybody. And how long can they keep that up? And if they're keeping that up, then they're clearly not protecting the streets.
It's a
This was their game plan for today, with the assumption that you're going to solve the problem today.
They're idiots. White wolves are idiots. No. I don't like the witch hunters either. Obviously, you probably could tell why. But I would like the idea of having more people on the street protecting and possibly killing tainted people. You know, protecting innocents, killing mutations.
I think the part that you're getting confused is the fact that the witch hunters would just as soon kill everybody who drinks water.
They can't actually do that and survive. If they just ran around killing anyone they suspected, they would always be killing everyone because they suspect everybody, but then they wouldn't live long because we would probably have a job to do about killing them ourselves. They'd be like, hey,
Do you
we hear
think
you
that you
handle
can take
problems.
out-
I was about to say, do you
Which
think we can
others?
actually take them?
The entire order of the White Wolf absolutely could.
And there's also the city guard. I mean,
Right,
they would
so...
appreciate witch hunters murdering people on the streets.
Right,
Yeah, I
so they
mean,
can't just
Commander
offhandedly
Schutzman
in the
probably,
streets
what
kill
Commander
people.
Schutzman probably wouldn't. You know, at the very least, the witch hunters would have to fabricate some lies. They'd have to at least go to the effort to fabricate some
They would have
falsehoods
to at least
before
cover
they
their own
killed
tracks,
everybody.
Okay, well, on that front, why don't we go to Schultzman as well? He's the potential ally. I mean, look, I understand the church doesn't want him involved either, but it would seem like a waste of another resource, no?
Well, I guess the issue with that is the guard is already doing what the guard needs to be doing, and that is guarding.
Look, the city is already under defended. We know that the army went north. There are rumors that they've already been taken out.
Okay. But Schultzman is our friend who knows us and can be an ally. And he also knows of the warp stone, because we gave him that.
At the very least, he'd appreciate us tipping him off.
We were expressly forbidden for tipping him off.
Well, if we're
but
going to
also,
the
it's a little bit further away.
Yeah, you could not get there in time. But to Oldette's point, yeah, the guy did say, do not involve the watch. They have many uses, but keeping secrets isn't one of them.
Right, okay.
So he was more worried that if the
Specifically
watch
that.
find out about it,
Yeah, that was
they'll
the thing.
gossip.
Technically, we weren't told not to tell the witch hunters.
But it seems obvious that it's inferred, right?
Look,
I
you
mean,
work between the lines, okay?
Oh, I'm all for working between the lines. I just, the church is very secretive, and that kind of bothers me, considering they're the ones who had the screw up with their water supply.
Sure have a lot of secrets for having divine truth, but point being, the witch hunters could just be augmentation to our own party at this point. They aren't going to spill their secrets. They would rather die. That's something that they do. They're crazy. But they're crazy in the right ways. For this specifically, and I never want to see them after it.
No, they might grow on you.
No.
No.
I've met a lot of people. I've watched them die. It's fine. They're gone. I don't need to see them again.
Okay.
They aren't going to change.
Where do we have to meet these witch hunters?
The music hall. They've got a box.
Okay, and when?
6:30.
Does anybody
I'm gonna look at my Casio.
Does anybody know the clock or how to read the clock?
I'm sure there are like.
You got 45 minutes to get there, and congratulations, you've done 4,800 steps today.
Okay, so
you there, dwarf? Have you invented watches yet?
Would we
have? Why not?
Would we have enough time?
We haven't wrist sundials yet.
Would we have enough time to go to the church first and ask if we can include more friends, or do we have to head to this music place right now?
It's about the same distance to the church as it is to the music place, and the same distance from the church to the music place. So if you went to the church first, you would be late, but you would be maybe 20 minutes late.
If we split up, have some meet and say we're waiting on word, and then word.
Yeah, because you're...
well,
actually, let me rephrase that. It's probably only 20 minutes to... It's 20 minutes to the Aurikian temple here. It's not far, but it's 40 minutes from there to here. So it's further from there to there. So yeah, same scenario.
So I don't think we should split up, because it doesn't seem like everyone's on the same page on everything. So it would be kind of... I think one of us would let something slip that we wouldn't want.
Well, certain individuals.
In other words, none of us can be trusted.
Well, none of us can be trusted because none of us has made a decision.
I mean, I've made my decision. We involve the witch hunters. That's my vote.
I think we're all, by and large, for the inclusion of more force. In the same way we hired a rat catcher just to be eaten.
Okay, but I am not for going to the church first. See, that's where the difference comes in.
And
so, what does everyone else votes on these two?
So you're all agreed that you're going to talk to the witch hunters, but the question now is: do you go to the church and ask permission first?
We're not all agreed on that.
I thought you were. Sorry.
Oh no, I don't want anything to do with the witch hunters.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking at you, Bertilda, because everyone else has kind of said yeah, except you.
I'm outnumbered, but like the truth of the matter is, I don't think.
Well, you're outnumbered, but to make you a case here, you are the one who stands in front and takes all of the hits, and without you, we all die. If you leave the group because of a disagreement, we're all screwed, so we need you good.
Oh, you just handed her all the power now.
I've already done that.
Because kindness is the most important thing to her. As long as you treat people right.
I already gave her all the power. I said you're the leader.
No, I want it. I'll leave the group. Fine, take the pie.
What Cadarel said is true. Hence why I said you were kind of the leader.
If we're making decisions without all making the decisions, we're not really making the decisions, are we?
We all have to at least agree that this is the way we're going, even if we don't agree with the mode of doing it.
Perhaps not the best course of action, but the most strategic. The most likely to get the problem solved. Get the shiny lioness armor.
We will have to deal with them either way. It's a matter of if we're going to deal with them up front now, or if we're going to deal with them after they figure out what's going on.
And then are mad at us for not having told them.
Well, I tried to clear that up with the fact that we are people of our word and we promised that we would not tell, so hopefully that will at least gain some sway.
Yeah, but did we prove to them that we are of our word? I
So
mean, we were
far.
rescued, even though we didn't really need to be rescued.
So far.
My loyalty don't lie with the
Let's be
witch
honest.
hunters.
No, my
Loyalty.
loyalty doesn't lie with them, but the fact that they could kill us for any number of things that we've done already.
So we should go tell the white wolves that the witch hunters are here and they're looking to interfere.
They're a little preoccupied at the moment, if you haven't seen all the people here. The white wolves, the soldiers wouldn't be able to do anything to stop the witch hunters right now.
Yeah,
We don't have the authority to make this executive decision.
Well, it's
We were put in charge of it, though.
this
they
is
told
a
us to deal
decision
with it.
of. It is at our level. It's basically, are we deciding to kind of side break an oath? And I again like the loophole of they're just part of our group now. If we don't allow them to do anything loose cannony, then we'll be.
I don't think we'd be able to stop them. And as for them being part of our group, I don't think we would have been given this mission if they knew that we had witch hunters with us.
We were purely hired out of coincidence and convenience and proven capability.
The thing is, we don't have any direction to go right now anyway. We don't have anywhere to look or what to
don't
do.
have a mission
they have
statement.
They have more resources that could perhaps help us know what we're dealing with or how to deal with it.
Yeah, wait, so all we would really have to tell the witch hunters is that the wells have been poisoned, or a few of them, with warpstone. We don't have to tell them about our trip to the Chaos Temple or anything like that.
No, they've already asked about that.
Yeah.
Well, they already asked
They've already
about
asked about all of that.
Yeah,
we don't have to make-
probably
we
been
don't-
They already know
debriefed
you
to our
went to
comfort. Yeah.
that's why they met
That's-
you.
Yeah,
I'm more-
but
But they
do
don't know you were like bathed in like.
And do they know about the
Chaos
artifact we were
blood.
returning? What about the
Yes.
artifact? They
They
do
know
know
about
about
the
the
artifact.
artifact.
They know that the artifact has been returned.
To the White Wolves.
Yeah, what they don't know is they basically twigged something funny is going on over at the Temple of Ulrich.
Right.
And no one's talking
And we
about
know that you're somehow to do with it, so why don't you tell us what's going on?
Got it,
Which
right.
that's where they're like, no, I don't think we're going to do that.
Okay.
But then they're like, well, we could try to figure this out ourselves, but if you would rather just come and meet us and tell us so we might be all on the same team.
I mean, they're really good at manipulation. I'm sorry. I was
given the
convinced.
given the circumstance of it being manipulated, as it were, is it really us at fault? They were going to inquire and discover this regardless.
Yes, and my worry is if we don't involve them now and they find out later that we were involved, that we were in the room when Father Odo drank the water, we could be implicated, or at least implicated that we were tainted as well.
So showing that
Just because we help them doesn't mean that won't lead to that anyway.
having
No, but being more open with them and letting them believe that we're telling them the whole truth will.
objection is the evidence is purely circumstantial. However, circumstantial evidence does build a case with a jury. We would not be proving ourselves innocent by working with them, but we would be dissuading any amount of unjust persecution and eventual murder from these clowns, as it were. I don't trust them a minute. I'm right with you there, but if we don't involve them now, they're going to be a huge pain in our side for the rest of however long they're alive. I pray it be short. To both Sigmar and Ulrich. I've got two.
Gore, can I? Who is distributing the water in this park? Is there any senior White Wolfian that we could just go to right in this vicinity?
I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of priests here. There's a bunch of knights. I mean, it's mostly a large amount of priests are here. Now,
any that we have dealt with?
the head priest is not here.
Right.
The one that kind of told you to go do it. But I mean, there are some others. Yeah. some,
Okay.
senior priests, but not
the
there's
two
some middle
people,
management.
right? Not the two people who like sent us on this mission to find the well.
Correct.
Poison.
Yeah.
Okay. No, so we can't just go to someone and be like, "Hey, remember us? What do you think about our friends?"
Klaus
Okay.
Liebenitz, who is the deputy high priest, he's not here, but there are some, some others.
Also, I love murder clownage, by the way. Satch.
Murder.
That's a good point, though. If we were to communicate at least to the church that perhaps we were involving other members into our party in some fashion, some sort, they might be a little bit more lenient on the idea, and maybe a little bit later on telling them, and in some form
now,
of a
remember
blackmail,
Father
so-
Ranulph? He's the one that you first went and got the artifact for. He was the one with Odo and told you about the.
Yeah.
He's here.
Oh, well, we could just talk to him.
So he
Wait.
He's as close to the top of the tree that you know.
I'm not running to him.
Okay.
I'm just saying we could.
Just, wait, and you're just standing right there. They're like, "Don't go."
We could just talk to him.
I'm
Ranulph, we're breaking our promise.
gonna look at everyone and be like, why don't we just tell the church we're following a lead of people who could potentially help us? Not even say they're a part of our party, just a source of information acquisition, you know?
You sound like a goddamn academic.
Well, I know how to read.
I do like the way you spin the truth in that.
He does know how to read. That's impressive in
That's
this
my
world.
job.
He knows how to read.
That's my job.
I do like how you spun the truth into that.
Yeah. So then they don't need to know that we're witch hunters, or that they are witch hunters, and that we're going to use them as another body. We could just say we have a lead, and we tell the guy over there, and then he relays the message, and then we technically involve them, right?
Yes. I'm down for this. This would work.
It keeps the conscience a little bit more clear, I think.
Yes, Bertilda?
Just lies of omission. You all are no better than the witch hunters.
Well, we are better than the witch hunters because you know us, and we're involving you.
And we're being nice. We like ice cream and they don't.
We're we're our own little cabal, right?
Cabal.
To be fair, this was all levied on us by the witch hunters. Had they not stuck their noses into any of this, we wouldn't have this dilemma.
So you're just going to give them what
Up
they
until
want?
We had to go do all of these things because we were implicated in deaths along the way. None of this would have happened either. We could go all the way back to the guard as far as who got us involved in all of this.
I suppose my theory on it is this. If we tell the witch hunters now, they will burn fewer innocent people's bodies while, discovering the truth. Their methodology isn't clean, it's effective. Right now we need to very effectively methodology some things.
I don't think you used that word correctly.
I can't read, Matthew Payne. Stop rubbing it in. Point being, we need their help, unfortunately, because all of our leads have kind of run dry. All we know is that wells are being poisoned. We don't know by whom. We don't know how their methodology. We know what the poison is. We have suspicions because of previous discoveries we've made, but unfortunately they've stuck their noses right into our armpits, and we can either clamp our arm down and bring them along, or
They had a wuffy great sniff.
eventually they're just going to stab us.
I just have trouble imagining an elf saying in our armpits. Sorry, the Tolkien fan in me is like, Legolas would never do that.
I'm not Legolas. I'm
Elves
far
don't
better.
fart
I'm
in-
superior in every
Elves
way.
don't break wind in your
That.
ideology either, huh?
Let's sniff each other's armpits as an elf.
Oh.
It's an elvish right.
I'm trying to speak Ertengurdian, okay?
Ertengurdian.
Oh, I'm all for it, Satch. I'm all for it, man.
It would just feel better if the church said it was okay.
And that's why we're telling them in a way that hopefully will make it okay, because we know that they would, just on the face of it, whether or not it's in their best interest, disagree based on the name, the fact that they are witch hunters. If they weren't, maybe they would agree. And if we strip away the titles, which, what is a title other than just a word we slapped on something? If we strip that away, they're just people who might actually help and yield some results.
I'm not so full of myself to believe that I know better than the White Wolves. They're the White Wolves for a reason.
Yeah, and we're all stupid enough to believe you're better than them, so that's why we need your approval on this.
I'm sorry, but you're not going to get it.
Dilemmas.
Okay, Bertilda, what should we do then? What is our best alternative option?
I think you know where I stand.
Sorry, my
Well,
mic
you don't
is
want to
on.
involve them, yes, but what do we do then? We can't sit guard at all of the wells in the city. We can't even look at all of the wells in the city. The people have to get water at some point. What's our next step?
We need counsel.
From who? The church is far too busy with everything here in the park to give us any sort of aid. They've left us in charge to figure it out today. And if we don't figure it out, there are going to be a lot of people's lives that are on our heads.
I mean, the only thing that I could think to do if we do not follow this course is fail the White Wolves, because we will not come with a resolution by tonight or today. We stake out wells throughout the city, 1 or 2 nights. Hope we get lucky with a poisoner. Probably fail most nights. By then, your armor will probably be ready, which it's not the worst way to spend time in the city, is staking out wells nightly.
But we also don't have the money beyond the down payment. And this is how we were going to get it.
Well, we could scout out the wells and beg for money.
We could
just become beggars.
That beggar was very effective on me. I think we could.
By the time half the town has drunk from the poisoned well and's become chaos mutated and are just charging around attacking the other half, no one's gonna care what you've done or what you haven't done.
Look, I'll relent to your judgment.
The other option would be to tell the people what is happening and let them decide for themselves not to drink from the wells.
That's going
to be chaotic in the city. People are going to die from trying to steal water from each other.
I mean, we could not see the witch hunters, go to the commander of the city watch, and let them spread the rumors to the people.
We're still betraying what the White Wolf wanted us to do either way. Look, I'll default to all of your better judgment. Just know that I'm not happy with it, and know that there may come a time when the witch hunters try to do something that I definitely don't agree with, and that could end up getting us all killed.
Oh no, I'm counting on that. If they do something and we don't agree with it, we're killing them for crimes, right?
If we can.
I mean, if they've committed some sort of atrocity, and we are friends with the guard at this point, and Sigmar and Ulrich. So basically, if they do anything that's against, the laws of the land, then we can clean that up as we see fit, and I'm all for whatever that extends, because I don't want them chasing after us anymore.
Okay, well, so yes, I mean, the White Wolves are the most prominent military and religious order in the city. There are other religious orders in the city. There is Sigmar itself. I mean, we have a relationship with him. We could forget about, we could let them know, the other churches. Or maybe the intellectuals at this college, or the dwarves. And I'm going to shiver a little bit. I mean, there are people we could go to help aid us. Some of them are not necessarily disliked by the White Wolves. I mean, we do have options. Not all of them are going to be beneficial, but, you know.
I think a lot of it also comes down to the order we were given was to solve this entire problem.
Yes.
And we were given no resources.
No real lead, except
No
a
real
poisoned
lead.
well.
Except that a well was probably poisoned, maybe, and we found out whether or not it was. So, if they're giving us no resources, and they trust our methodology to solve the problem, which is a major part of this whole arrangement, we need to be able to have room for methodology. We aren't spreading rumors on the street by telling a small group of secretive people who hate to tell anyone anything about what's going on. And that's the main concern, is the whole chaos part of it. And frankly, that's the thing that the witch hunters are most terrified of. Is chaos. They hate it. So if we include them, it's going to cause less damage than if we don't. Because they'll do whatever it takes to figure out what's going on, and if it turns out to be a cold lead, they'll just walk away from it. They're insane. Again, he spits on old ladies. I guarantee you that is 100% a fact, and I'm not just adding that to what happened.
Yes, I mean, I think we could all agree that none of us like what we're going to have to do regarding them. Because none of us likes them or trusts them. But they are a source of potential information and help.
I'll be honest, I haven't liked being told that we have to go investigate all of these things from the beginning. I haven't liked a single moment of that.
The paycheck's nice, but the work is grueling.
Well, and if we fail at it, we're either killing a bunch of people or we are going to be killed, one or the other.
Maybe we should get into begging. It'll be a lot easier for us.
Or maybe we should just try to tear the whole system down.
Let's just destroy the city.
Oh well, then just leave the wells alone.
That's
problem.
Kind of an absolutist mindset there. I don't quite care for that. Why did we just suddenly decide we're going to destroy the whole city? Aren't we trying to help the city? Isn't that the whole thing?
Yeah, a bit of a 180 there, I think.
Well, I mean,
this is where I'm saying we don't have a mission statement. So what kind of company are we?
If we are wanting to be fully honest with everyone, then we tell the people what is happening and let them decide what to do. But if we are trying to protect them from the knowledge, then we have to enlist some sort of aid because we cannot do this on our own.
You really just kind of hit it on the head there, didn't you?
So what are we doing? Bertilda stated her position. She will default to the party's judgment, but she believes in the White Wolves and that's what she wants to be, as a White Wolf, and so she thinks they're not wrong and that everything that they say is what should be done is she trusts them completely. So
Okay, so fair enough, Bertilda. I just, what Odette just said was interesting in that it doesn't necessarily have to do with our mission statement of vague investigation. It has to do with her personal feelings on the matter regarding our purpose here as a party, as a group. Odette, you want to tell the people.
No, I said if we're going to be completely honest, if that's the way we have to take it.
I know. And is that
Then we
what
tell
you
them.
truly feel about the situation?
No.
Forget.
It's
Okay.
chaos.
Okay. I'm saying forget about what we've been told we're doing or supposed to do.
Right.
Knowing everything we know, what do you want to do without any parameters or things above us.
I think we should go to this meeting and enlist their aid. They're the most capable to help us in this situation.
At this point, they're halfway
But if we
through the
want to be
concert.
honest with the people, like if we're not going to keep secrets, the people deserve to know the danger that they're in, if that's the way we're looking at this.
Who's looking at it that way?
Well, you said you wanted to be completely honest with everyone.
No, with the white wolves, because
that was putting words in her mouth.
Yeah,
there.
Bertilda.
I feel like-
Bertilda's
I
just
believe
hell bent
the
on
white
making sure
wolves
that
don't think the people should know, because they think if the people knows, everything's going to break out to chaos.
It will.
Bertilda believes them and thinks that they're all knowing, that they know what's going on. And
so full transparency here, right? Full honesty. My personal goals at this date and time is I want you to have your armor and for me to have my book, all of which are expensive. If the White Wolves can pay us for our service, then I want to do whatever I can to get that money from them, even if it means not being completely upfront and honest with them. So that's where I differ with you, Bertilda. Because if we involve other parties for more information and more help, we can then solve the problem and get paid. And then I can buy my book. If we go the let the people know, chaos erupts in the city, I am going to steal one of those books, and I'll still be okay with that. Just letting you know where I personally stand on this whole matter. If the White Wolves can pay me, I'll do it that way. If we can sow chaos and crazy shit in Middenheim, I'll go steal a book. I'll be happy
so
to.
we got Bertilda, who's basically brainwashed by the White Wolves, and like that's all she sees. And then we have Matthew Bain over here that's just in it for his own benefit.
No, I said your benefit too. Now, granted, if the city's burning down, they're not going to craft your armor, so I can see that being prohibitive. But I'm thinking of the party more than just myself.
I think the general oversight in your current vision of things, as it were, is that we have a very specific perspective into the world and its current standing. The world and its current standing. It's shrouded in absolute chaos, and it's got a very thin veil keeping most people sane, because the moment that chaos is introduced to them, people go insane, which means the moment that chaos will eventually erupt, all of these people are going to lose it, and society itself is going to crumble. When you said we could destroy the city, I thought for a second that was kind of a funny thought, because it's not unlikely. We could destroy the city very easily.
Or we could do it
by accident.
Yes, exactly.
So,
does anyone here honestly think that chaos is not going to start anyway, eventually, regardless of what we do?
So what
that's
I'm
why
saying
we're here
is...
That's the point of fighting.
The White Wolves save it all.
That's the reason you're here.
Right.
My goal with the company I'm in...
As desperate as it might be.
My goal with the company I'm in is I have formed a bit of a war bond with you three. Yes, we all...
I agree
been
with
through
that.
quite a bit, and we've all learned to trust each other in our capacities. We are all very capable people. I trust each of you with my life, literally. I want to be able to provide some benefit to this group in some form, and I hope that all of you also see things in this way, where if we can benefit our group, it benefits us all. If we are strong enough to be our own form of faction or some sort, then we will be more suitable to survive whatever is about to happen.
Okay, right. And
so,
in
terms of what you've been saying, Matthew Bain, you just want to do the things, get stronger or whatever.
No. I'm saying I'd be okay with both options, but I do have a preference for the one that has more stability in it. That's really what I was trying to say.
I see my own survival in the future hinging on this group.
Yes, me too.
So we need to do whatever we can to benefit it, in my perspective. In this case, it's keeping a close eye on some witch hunters so they don't kill us, and maybe gleaming a little bit of help out of them in the meantime.
Okay. Well, time is fast slipping, so we need to make a move.
We need to go talk to them.
Okay, so is that where we're going now?
We'll pick our words carefully, Bertilda. Trust me. Just use them as a resource. They are not our allies.
Just a subtle nod among the group to acknowledge that we might have to give them a little bit every once in a while, but as far as we can, we're going to keep our cards to ourselves.
All right. Well, then I think that it's to be known that I will be doing no talking with these people because I will definitely end up saying the wrong thing to them and getting us all killed.
So you're going to be biting your lip the entire time?
Well, just a reminder, my finger...
Well, I mean, I know it's going to benefit the party to keep my mouth shut. So just so that the party knows they need to speak in my stead.
I echo a similar sentiment considering my profession, not wanting to slip that what I am, what I could do.
Don't want to accidentally say, oh, and by the way, I'm a wizard. Oh!
I'll choose to say nothing instead of saying F off, basically. So,
well, how much would you like me to inform them of? Obviously, we don't want to tell them that there were outbreaks already. We want to tell them about the well itself, correct?
That we found evidence that a well was poisoned with warpstone. That seems to be the only thing that they really need to know.
And that the church took water from that well, hence the problems that they've heard of. Just to maybe give them the answer that'll settle them down.
Okay.
You do not wish to tell them that it could be in some way connected to the artifact that was stolen from Sigmar?
We don't think that, right?
We don't have any reason to believe that's necessarily the case.
I think, at one point there was the thought of it, but...
I thought it was the artifact that we brought back. But that artifact has been locked away and unmoved.
Yeah.
Bless your heart, Matilda.
All right. Okay. So that's what you're going to do?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty then. So, to the Royal College of Music for the concert then. Alrighty.
It's like almost over.
Okay. All right. So once you get there, you make your way to the private booth that was indicated to you by the leader of the 3 witch hunters, which was Matthias Hoffer. Okay.
Oh wait, before we go, I had said that I was making pamphlets whenever we were waiting for the boys.
You did.
Can I have handed those to like one of the priests?
You can. What did they say?
They were like, okay, so like old school, like the itinerant preachers where they would give out the miracle pamphlets, talking about all the miracles that happened. They're those, basically. The water will get rid of all your money problems. It cures every illness.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So basically telling them, hand these out.
Yeah.
More people will want to come and drink your stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to get as many people to drink this water as possible.
Okay. Good deal. Righty-ho. Yeah, so once you're
Plot twist, that was poisoned.
Their water supply was poisoned and we're just killing the whole
thing.
thing.
They're doing it on... It's actually
that
them.
That would be our luck, okay?
The whole thing was the Ulrich priest the entire time just to get everyone to come and drink their water, which is poisoned.
That would be our
Yeah, they
luck.
were the bad people the whole time. Oh, Bertilda would...
Damn it.
The way I try to keep people alive and they always die, that would be my luck.
Never mind. Alrighty, so when you get there, Matthias Hoffer, Jacob Bauer, and Ulrich Fischer are all sitting there at a table. They've got a decanter of fine alcohol there that they're sipping on. As you kind of like usher in through the curtains onto the little private balcony, you can kind of get an initial glimpse of them. Matthias Hoffer is like really intensely listening to the music, like he's actually fully absorbing every note. Jacob Bauer is just laying back in the chair. He was the big kind of muscly one, and he's just like looks like he really could give a crap. And Ulrich Fischer is actually his face is buried in what looks like a book, like he's actually just sitting there reading. Okay, when you walk in, Matthias Hoffer kind of looks up and smiles politely and just offers a seat for you to sit down. They've got 4 or 5 additional chairs that are unoccupied at the moment.
Sit down.
Okay. He goes,
I choose to stand, thank you.
okay. He says, Link? And then without waiting for an answer, he picks up a little bell and kind of ding, 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 rings the bell, which can barely be heard over the music that's bellowing out from down below in the auditorium. Needless to say, very quickly, a well-dressed young man appears through the curtains with a tray, and he says, "We will need 4 more glasses, please." And he nods and scurries away. Well, I am intrigued that you decided to come and meet with me and my companions. So clearly you have understood that we are on the same side and could possibly help one another.
Yes, that's what we ended up deciding.
So,
You do seem the best equipped for it.
well, as I mentioned before, it came to our attention that there were some problems occurring inside the Temple of the White Wolf. I understand that you felt it was necessary to remain secretive about these things, as it would appear that you were requested to keep whatever it is private, which of course we understand. But if you wish us to assist you in solving this problem, we will have to at least understand enough so that we can decide how we best may help you.
Yes. Yes.
So, would you like to explain the situation to us, or should I perhaps ask questions and you choose to answer them?
I'm gonna look at the group for a second. Oh, okay.
Aldet's face. I mean, Bertilda's face is saying it all.
Yeah, I know,
That sounds
right?
like almost idyllic that he would only, like ask questions and then like if we want to answer them. That just sounds like,
It's like I don't know if I want to give them the power to just ask us what's happening.
This is the point where I realize that they've been doing this a while and they're used to this scenario.
I know, right? They're very good at
We are
like,
so outgunned. Oh my god.
We are out of our league.
We're screwed, man. We're screwed. Caterell's just gonna nod.
The young lad comes back in with a tray of glasses, and with that he hands the guy a penny, and then puts the glasses down, and he fills each of the small glasses up with some of the liquid. He says, "This is a very fine sherry. I suggest that you try some." And then he picks it up and raises a glass as a polite salute and takes a very small sip.
Yeah, I'm gonna mirror him.
Okay. Yeah, which, when you kind of look and watch them, so Ulrich Fisher, who's still, like, he reaches over and picks his up, takes a sip, and he's still engrossed in his book. And then, the guy next to him, the more oafish of the three, Jacob Bauer, just picks his glass up, downs it, and puts the empty glass back on, and then slumps back in his chair. Definitely no element of refinedness there, to be sure. So he says, so, where to begin?
Okay, we returned the artifact. It was sealed in a proper box and put away and is under guard until they can come up with the means to destroy the artifact. So the artifact is not involved in this at all.
Well, this is incredibly good news. Such a vile thing should not be allowed to see the light of day ever again.
I believe the only time they will ever bring it out again is if they have found a way to destroy it.
Good. Well, as I said, we had heard that there was some kind of disturbance in the Temple of Ulrich.
Yes, while we were there, it came to our attention that some of the water in the area had been tainted.
Tainted?
Yes.
And in how so? Perhaps somebody had thrown a diseased rat down into the water supply, perhaps?
No, that would be far simpler. We don't have any confirmation yet. We are still waiting on the results, but we believe it is actually warpstone.
Okay, when you say that,
I know. I know.
So as you say that, basically, Ulrich Fisher's book slides from his hand and goes thump on the floor as he's like, looks up. Jacob Bauer kind of shoots a sudden glance at Matthias, and he just raises an eyebrow in curiosity. And when you say the water supply, do you mean the water supply in the Temple of Ulrich?
No, it is outside.
Outside?
Yes, it's
In
the
the city well?
Yes.
Okay, with that, Jacob Bauer slams his hands down on the side of the chair and goes to leap out of his chair. And Matthias kind of puts his hands on his shoulder and pushes him back into the chair. He says, What have you done to ensure that this water supply is no longer usable?
For every water supply, we've been trying to gather
Every water
information.
supply?
No, we've been trying to gather information on all of the water supplies to see if it is only this one or if there are multiple in the city. So far, it seems to be only this one. We have removed the means of obtaining the water from the well, and the priests, as you have seen, have been trying to prevent people from going to the wells for water.
This is what made us suspicious, because we did not know why, but we were very aware that they were doing some kind of new procedure, some kind of new ceremony in the Great Park.
Yes.
But
It's an attempt to give us time to find out who is doing this and why.
so what have you found out? Do you believe that it is isolated just to the one well, and perhaps the Temple of Ulrich was the target for this? Or do you perhaps think that it is something that is more widespread?
Well, that depends on what kind of chaos it is trying to unleash in the city. It could very easily be just the one well, or it could just be the start. We haven't found any information either direction.
So
But
you
so
do
far
not know who is responsible for this.
No, we have no leads on that. We were trying to find information when we found out you were looking for us.
I see.
The city is big, and we are only 4 people.
Of course.
So,
And if your intent is to check to see if other wells have been tainted, have you managed to succeed in doing this? Have you been to other wells?
that's impossible within a day. The wells that I have come across, I have checked.
And you have found no
not
evidence
at the
of
moment.
any other well. But of course, a well that you checked 2 hours ago could have been poisoned 1 hour ago.
We have, every well we've come across, we have been removing the chains and the buckets and the means to drink from it as much as possible. But again,
But it will not be long before the Dwarven Engineers Guild has been tasked with repairing these wells. It will not take long before the chains and buckets have been replaced. They are most efficient, you know.
Yes,
As
that
soon
is
as
why
somebody
we decided
complains-
to ask for your help.
Yes.
Because we don't have the means to continue on our own in a
Right.
timely fashion.
or a lead to follow beyond that.
And why specifically were you forbidden to let anybody else know of this quandary?
If the information were leaked to anyone else, there could be a response from the people that would cause more harm than good.
In this I can 100% agree.
Also, it probably had to do with the matter of shame.
Well, this is maybe, but more importantly, I do agree that if the population at large was to learn that water supplies were being tainted by Chaos Warpstone, well, the riots that would occur in the streets and the mass exodus from the city, as well as the outrageous amounts of violence and looting that would happen would be far probably worse than the actual problem itself. No. He was very correct in making sure that you do not spread this information to anybody else. And in this, we will, of course, ensure our secrecy as well.
We appreciate it. And I appreciate you understanding our need to consider if we could include you in this.
The problem we now face, of course, is if any of the other wells are going to be poisoned, and if so, how do we prevent it? Or, more importantly, how do we stop it?
So the one of the many conversations we've had today involve who we suspect the target is. Is it the church or is it the people? Would other churches be also targeted like the White Wolves, or would they go for a high population area, like in the Southern District?
Well, of course, this would depend greatly on the motivations of those that are responsible.
Right. We have not come any closer to ascertaining that motivation, but it is how we've been trying to solve this problem, to determine which wells are the most likely targeted.
Do we have any reason to understand why specifically the Temple of Ulrich may have been targeted?
We have not. I mean, we don't. We haven't really come to any conclusion on that.
Were any other people informed or aware that you took this chaos artifact to the Temple of Ulrich?
No.
Did you tell anybody?
No.
Is it possible that somebody else is aware that the artifact is there and is doing this as a distraction so that they may break into the temple and steal this item?
They would have had to have followed us and seen where we were. You would be the only suspects in that regard.
Nah. And it is true, I do not believe we were followed from the forests and up the northern road to the city. And we did depart from your company very, very soon as we reached the city.
And we went straight to the White Wolves.
So if we have no
anybody.
reason to specifically believe that the White Wolves were targeted, then it is only fair to assume that there are many other possibilities. As you say, perhaps other temples, if it is a targeted attack specifically on religious entities. So, have we checked to see if the wells closest to the Temple of Sigmar have indeed been tainted?
We have not been up there, no.
I see. So this should be one of the things that is done. But more importantly, I think it is imperative that we find a way to cover these situations, and I feel the likelihood of us happening to catch the individuals would be slim to none. But there is no way we can monitor all of the wells at the same time. Unless, of course, we involve some things like the City Watch, but the problem there is watchmen have families, they will want to protect their families, therefore they will tell them, do not drink from the well, it is bad. And at this point, gossip will spread, they will tell their friends, and before we know it, the rumor mill will have circulated around the city, and we will have chaos by tomorrow morning. Well, the only thing I can think to suggest is we divide our forces. Perhaps me and my friends will monitor the northern part of the city, and do our best to keep an eye and check all of those wells, and perhaps you can focus more on the southern half of the city. Indeed, there are more wells to the south. The largest group of wells would be found in the Oakmart and Old Quarter, and the Wind, where it is more populated, more dense. There are a larger spread of wells in that area than anywhere else.
Yes, that would probably be the best place to start.
If the goal is to infect as many people as possible, this is possibly a good theory that these areas may be most likely to be struck. We have a more intimate knowledge of certain aspects of the northern part of the city, which may make it a little easier for us to investigate and keep an eye on the wells there. While we will not of course, involve anybody else as we have agreed, but there are a few things that we can do to assist ourselves.
Just as an aside, it's clear that these wells are rainwater wells, right? They're not like connected to a larger network.
Correct. Yeah, there's no they're not coming from an underground spring or anything like that.
Right. So yeah, I mean, really, if it rains, all the wells get some water, and everyone kind of benefits, right?
20-sided.
Hey,
20 sides to every story. Welcome. Thanks for the raid, guys. Appreciate it.
hey, thank you.
Yay!
Good to see ya. This is, honestly,
Okay.
our job is to swat the spread of chaos. If any of the city wells are contaminated with warpstone dust, and people should drink from them, this will be bad. We would need to call in many of our order, and unfortunately, we would have to very likely resort to some very disparate and dangerous tactics to eradicate the chaos from the streets.
We would like to prevent that.
Precisely.
Question. I know the dwarves, the engineers, will eventually replace what we have destroyed to prevent people from consuming it. But do you think a poisoner would intentionally poison a well that has the stuff broken? Couldn't we break most of the wells in the northern district except for one and use that to stake it out?
Well, the only problem with that is if I was somebody that was looking to poison the wells and I come across wells that had been dismantled, I would therefore assume that somebody was on to me.
Because what you're basically asking us to do is patrol all the wells in the southern district. I don't even think we know where all of them are, you know?
Well, I am thinking because you do not know where all of them are, the largest quantity of them is in the Altmark, Altquarter, and the Wind. So, logic would dictate if the goal of the poisoners is to infect as many people as possible, then it is most likely that this is where they would strike. If their targets are more specific, being the Temple of Sigma and possibly the Palace District, then...
That's the other area.
So, my thoughts are that we will distribute ourselves to watch the Palace District, the Temple of Sigma, and perhaps the General Freiburg area, where the Collegium Theologica and guilds are. And perhaps you can concentrate your efforts on the Altmark, Altquarter, and the Wind.
Where will we meet tomorrow to discuss if we found anything?
If we meet tomorrow to discuss if we found anything, the chances are that either we has failed or, we have already dealt with the problem. But, seeing as you have a fondness for the Great Park, perhaps we will meet by the pond, bright and early. After all, it is the central point for the city, and this is a beautiful time of year for a nice stroll in the park. We can sniff the flowers as we talk.
Yes. Ideal.
He says, well, we are willing to do this and assist you if you are of a similar mind. If it's not, and you have a suggestion of how we may assist you, then let us know what your idea is.
I'm going to look at our group.
I mean, staking out the wells was the only other suggestion we all had before we came here, so...
Okay.
I guess now that we have the northern part taken care of, we can really try to... Yeah. That's a lot of land to cover, though. We'd have to be lucky on our timing.
We have already checked quite a few of those.
Yep, you actually disabled a couple in this vicinity here.
And also around the dwarves.
And there was some that you've disabled in this area here, so...
Right, but I mean, not just to check the wells, but to scout them out for a potential person to come and poison them, right? I mean, the timing would have to be kind of impeccable, I feel.
Well, that's basically what they're saying is you're
That's
kind
the
of
point,
relying
right?
on...
That's what we're doing.
You're
Yeah.
relying on some
Super
luck,
lucky.
but you're spreading your forces to at least give yourselves a chance of success.
Ugh.
Of course, if you're all completely wrong and they attack the merchant district, well, then you're screwed, aren't you?
Yep, you are.
Well, I
But then you
guess-
can blame the witch hunters and say it was their fault. They told us not to go over there.
That's true. Absolutely. I will
So-
blame them in so many pamphlets.
Yeah,
I will make up all manner of rumors about them and spread throughout the city.
I will. The city that doesn't exist anymore, because we know what'll happen if that happens.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at everybody in our party and be like, I guess we're not getting any sleep tonight, guys.
I just want a pamphlet that says warpstone dust, the do's and don'ts.
Yep. That's it. Why the various different states of the empire should legalize warpstone dust? The medical
Guys,
benefits.
this is our intro. This is our intro. We've got the intro now.
Can we make artificial chemical versions of warpstone dust that we consider legal? Can we refine warpstone dust into oil and sell that?
Warp cannabis, right?
Yeah.
But the pyramid scheme to sell the warpstone dust derivative might be a little iffy on the...
Old Bet wants to start it because she wants to make a fortune.
There you go. Alrighty. Well, that's their game. That was their suggestion. So, do you wish to work with the witch hunters or no?
That's what we're
Not really
doing.
a
At
choice
this
at this point,
point.
yeah. At this point, that's all we
Before
got.
we go, I do believe perhaps we should keep an eye at the Great Park as well. If possible, while you're in the northern area, could you keep an eye there? If that's where people are going to get their water now, and the poisoner has realized this, they could try to do something there.
Yes, the priests of Ulrich are many things, but I do not believe they would be naive enough to allow a poisoner to slip something into their water supply while they are there distributing it. No, they would most likely be fully aware if this was happening.
Okay.
Understand, our disdain for the Ulrichian temple is not one of hatred, more of a disagreement in how things should be done. We tend to, as I said, use methods of investigation and subterfuge and very quick and precise actions to deal with chaos, whereas their ideals are more to ride out and meet it in force. This is something that our order does not have the manpower to do, therefore we do things differently. The problem is, they do not like how we do things, typically.
Let's hope they don't find out.
Well, we are all working for the same goal, even if we wish to go about it one way and they wish to go about it another. After all, in this situation, they have hired you to do exactly the sort of things and resort to the sort of methods that we typically would resort to. So perhaps in this particular endeavor, we are all on the same page.
Well, it's getting late. We should probably head out.
Yes, I agree. It is unfortunate that we will not be able to stay to the end of the concert, but
Well, they're only playing one song.
It's
this is the 14th
It's
concerto. You do
concerto
not
number
understand.
4, yeah.
This song is exactly
Concerto
3 hours
number
and
4.
27
it goes
minutes
a long
long.
time.
You're not missing much of it. Only playing one song.
It's a Brandenburg. We're gonna be here a while.
I do like the music, by the way. I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Somebody in chat mentioned it, made me laugh. So.
You know, at first I thought maybe this song is a little longer than I remember, and there's a little dip in the middle of it.
It is. Yeah, it's 7 minutes 17 seconds long. Yeah, I could have stuck a number of songs, but I didn't think necessarily you'd be here this long. So
You should know by now we're the talkers.
that's right. Okay, alrighty. So yeah, you are going to depart the Royal College of Music. They are going to enter into the Freiburg and over to the Palace District, and probably keep an eye in and around the Great Park. Whereabouts are you guys heading?
Alt Market, the Winds, and the Ostwald District?
Okay.
I think for starters,
Now, are you guys going to split up to watch multiple wells, but then if you see the culprit, you're by yourself, or do you guys want to just kind of patrol as a group? So that should you catch the culprits in the act, you're able to react? What do you want to do?
First thing I want to do is check and see if we're being followed.
Check to see if you're being followed. Who'd want to follow you? I mean,
I don't know,
come
a group
on.
of witch hunters who suspect us for reasons.
Okay, look, everybody in the city at this point suspects us of things that we
Gotcha.
don't do.
All right, you can go ahead and give me a perception check then, Mr. Cadilrell.
I'm paranoid.
Guys, that would be a great witch hunter.
Yeah, okay, 99. We're good.
Yep.
Just not being followed. Okay, so then basically just under Martha, we're going to be like, perhaps we should check on the old sewer layer as well.
It was over here.
I mean, we cleared it out, but...
We cleared it out and then the god went in after us.
Right, but who's to say they can't just return once all of that's been handled and done?
Didn't the guards say they were going to employ the dwarves to seal it?
They did, and the dwarves were going to go down there and look for that statue that I had found as well.
Yeah, but on what time frame? Because it's been only like a matter of like 14 or 15 business days.
The dwarves are likely going to go immediately. They're very particular about who has access to things they think are theirs.
Suppose so.
I do find it really strange that, I mean, obviously we were not being told the whole story regarding their relationship, the witch hunters and the white wolves, because it does not make sense to me that two groups would be so secretive to each other, dislike each other's methods, but have both methods for the same cause be mutually beneficial, right?
I agree.
I mean,
So it wasn't just me who caught that's more there than they told us.
It's
Also-
likely that one of them at least was previously part of the church or something.
Did you see a missing badge space on their crest?
Yes, they actually they had a sash and everything. I also noticed
Looks
that
like a patch that
when
they
he waved
ripped
us
off.
over, he did this, so I know he's one of the scouts.
It's like, you're no longer a white
He
wolf.
had his hand tucked into his vest, which means he's also a mason.
Wow, you're very observant, Catamrel.
Yes, I'm really observant over things that I make
Likes
up.
badges.
Especially when it involves spitting on women.
Jeez.
look, Catarel and Oldette would be a great team of chaos.
I still think that the White Wolves don't want to work with them because their methods
Yeah,
are more
I
like,
tend
if
to
you
agree with
aren't
that.
sure, then kill them all.
I tend to agree with that.
I
The
could see that
notion
too.
that they probably just don't like that they kill people, which, frankly, none of us do.
So the big difference, which I guess I mean, that's what you said is correct. I agree with you, is that the witch hunters are willing to kill anyone and everyone who they suspect to be tainted, whereas the white wolves want to make sure they look like purple tentacle monsters before they go out in the battlefield to fight them, right? That, it's like, oh, we know you're tainted, so now we'll go out in open warfare with you. Whereas
Well,
the witch
it
hunters
also
are like,
would seem sort of like the witch hunters are, let's start from the end and work our way up to the main problem, whereas the white wolf would just confront the main problem head on.
If we had a main problem, I would be okay with that.
It does seem weird to me, though, that the white wolves would hire us to basically do what the witch hunters do,
Well, it wasn't the
which
White
is
Wolves.
go up the way, not
specifically.
head.
It wasn't the White Wolves that hired us, it was the Churchhood. The Churchhood just needs this sorted because it's threatening the people. The White Wolves are a part of the Churchhood, a separate faction.
Or, and I'm sorry to have to say this, Bertilda, or it's threatening their reputation.
Maybe they don't think it's a big problem yet.
See,
it's a pretty big problem.
I'm
Brother
worried.
Odo turned into something else.
If they thought it was a bigger problem, then they would send they would send actual white wolves.
And they've sent us.
I guess my worry is that we are being used to cover up a shame more than a desire to help the people. Does that track with anybody here, that the White Wolves could be more worried about the reputation than actually protecting the citizens of corruption?
I see how you could think
No.
that, and I don't think that. I see how you could think that. I see how you could think that. I don't think that's what's happening.
Fair
Well,
enough.
that's gonna make a note in her notebook about that, though.
Okay.
Because that's a good angle.
That is a
We could
great
get him on
angle.
that.
I can totally spread a rumor about this crap.
Y'all
I can
screwed.
stir up some people.
You guys should not tell her these things.
We should
Oh.
not talk to Odette.
But see,
ever.
that's the thing. We don't know that she's an agitator.
We don't know what she
evidence.
does.
I have been agitating for good. You guys saw my pamphlets about the miracle?
Agitating for good is the
Agitating
best
for good.
I mean, but do you really think that Bertilda would be okay?
I murder
if
for
she
justice.
knew that Odette was sitting over here going, "Okay, start rumor that white wolves are selfish assholes."
I mean, okay, look, it's not so much that she's going to start it about the white wolves. She's just liking this angle of covering a secret shame. Like, she can use that for the royalty or for another group or something.
We already have evidence of infidelity, supposedly, right?
Oh, we absolutely can make evidence.
I mean,
of that.
come on. There's a lot of religious... Down with all religion, okay?
Well,
Somebody
no,
had
Matthew
to say
Bain
it.
survived the Spanish Inquisition.
not all religion. The halflings have a pretty amazing deity.
Here
Yeah,
comes Odette
that-
to tell you how you're wrong.
I guess we're going to the sewer grate first, or are we just going to the wells and the...
But we could take a quick look over it, make sure that it's actually been handled.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
All right. Yep. So you detour down to the sewer grate, which previously had, a section of it cut out, and then the cut marks had been carefully hidden. When you get there now, the grate itself has been completely replaced by a huge, big kind of iron, metal-studded grate of much sturdier and newer design.
Is there a lock on it?
No, it's not designed to come in to be removed.
So the doors must have gone another way, I'm going to say as I look at the party, to investigate their statue.
I am also quite impressed that they just outright did handle this. I don't generally trust people, but I'm warming up to it.
I mean, so that means what the Witch Hunter said about the broken buckets and chains and the other wells, they could very well be fixed by tomorrow if complaints start coming in. With the
Right.
speed of this.
Right.
Huh.
What is exactly... So we can't really set bait for this. We don't have a way to lure out, other than the wells themselves are already bait. If we break a few wells and they happen to go to one and it doesn't work, they'd have to go to a different one. And I would say if I was poisoning wells and one was out of order, I wouldn't think too much of it. I'd just go to the next well. I'd actually think oh, good, more people will be going to this well. Although there is a stink in the city already that you should be going to the park. So I think this entire staking out the wells thing might not yield any results.
Yeah, I mean, you have a point. Maybe a few, one or two broken wells, it's coincidental. All the wells are broke except one.
Yeah.
Might
Then
be
you're
a
like,
little obvious.
It would increase our odds.
Yeah.
But Kedril, the problem there is that even broken wells sporadically or seemingly randomly would be more suspicious, considering the very day that they're broken is the day that the church that was recently poisoned is doing this purification ritual.
And I think
Right.
that's the issue I have here with this the whole theory of what we're doing here, is that going to poison another well within the time that we're out tonight scouting the wells for a totally different purpose, when I personally do believe it was a targeted attack directly on the churchhood. If there is a well that's most likely to be affected here, it's going to be either the other church or it's going to be the other church.
And
Well,
if
the other
it is,
problem-
then in theory, witch hunters will be there waiting for them.
And I'd rather they be waiting than us.
Honestly, I thought the same thing, but the witch hunters are going to place themselves where they think the problem's going to be. Like, it's much more likely it's going to happen up there, which is why they chose to stay there. They're not going to send us.
I think it's highly likely that the reason they were targeted was because of the artifact.
Nobody knew about the artifact, though.
But except
nobody knew about
the church.
Nobody knew about the first artifact either, and yet
No, it was taken the moment it was.
I don't think that they're unrelated. There could be another religious artifact somewhere in the city that gets targeted.
Yeah, I'm aware it's a bias, but I totally agree. I think these are absolutely
What about
related.
the library that we went to? We never found what was taken there, and we know
There were
that
too many things to search. It's a whole library.
What was taken? There was the map that was taken from the dwarves.
Yes.
That was the map to the sewer entries.
We have now found that the third person was someone of interest of the Order of Witch Hunters.
But wasn't the map that was taken from the dwarves? They knew about that.
Who?
What are the witch hunters hiding?
The
about?
dwarves
knew what was. Yeah, the dwarves knew that the
dwarves
map
knew it
was what was stolen. Yeah.
We got that information.
I thought that one of them helped it get stolen. Isn't that what we heard?
We just overheard that in the
Yeah,
tavern.
we just overheard that. But I was. But we never found out. We know that the
that tavern you're talking about is this one right here.
We know the artifact was stolen.
Right.
The last
Sigmar.
Right. The second one was the map of the sewers. The third person that was killed was, we found out just recently that he was an acquaintance of the witch hunters, one of his order. That's why we were questioned initially by them. Because of the man that we met, or the man who had died towards the sewer entrance.
Right, which we originally thought he was just unfortunately placed there. It was an
So we have the 3 reasons for those people, but we have never found the reason for the guard at the library.
The guy outside the library.
I don't think any of it matters. Nobody's asking.
Yeah. Well, you know something.
question.
You know that something had broken into the library.
Right.
You just don't know what was stolen.
If anything, because the guys there said that we have so much stuff here, we can't tell if anything's missing.
Correct.
Right.
You're assuming this partnership went both ways.
With what?
The witch hunters know more than what they told us they knew.
Of course they do.
Yes.
We know more than we've told them as well.
No, I think they know way more than what they told us. They're not giving us any information in exchange.
No, they're giving us their aid, though, which is what we needed.
What if
They
the
want us to
damaged
think that they're
pride-
giving us their aid.
What if the
They
damaged
were using
pride
us
isn't-
to see if we knew as much as they knew.
Well, then it's good that we told them so that they don't come looking for us later.
Doesn't mean
We
they
didn't
won't
get-
come looking for us.
We didn't give them any new information if they already knew.
What if the damaged pride is actually that of the witch hunters?
I think everyone has that threat or that risk, right?
Right, but they lost one of their own, and they've only told us that he was one of their own. We know nothing of his circumstances as to why he was there. They just said wrong place at the wrong time, which doesn't seem like something witch hunters do.
This is true, but if we're connecting the original artifact that we brought here and this new artifact as well as the wells, then we have to go to the library at some point. We have to figure out what was taken there.
Maybe the witch hunters already know.
Perhaps they do.
Yeah, but the library, the potential library theft was in relation to the Sigmar artifact and the Skaven.
Correct.
Now,
but if we are connecting these, then that is one spot that we have to check later.
do we know? I mean, is there any possibility of knowing that the Skaven has any tie to another group of people on the surface? Because that seems like they would be not in cahoots.
Well, we
But
know
they'd
that
be operating independently, you know?
we know that
They
the
got the
theft of
information
the
somewhere. We should keep watch over these wells tonight, though. We've said that that's what we'll do. Tomorrow we can reassess what's happening.
Okay,
then.
well, I agree. Back on that topic, though.
if there's more than one group moving around with warpstone in the area, we have much bigger problems than what we thought.
Yes.
So if I was to enact my own brand of chaos, right? Pretend I was the poisoner, hypothetically.
I stabbed Matthew Bain.
He has cast aspersion on
hear me out.
himself. We
Problem
kill him.
solved. That was easy.
This is now Warhammer,
Let's
aka
leave the
also
city.
known as paranoia.
We've done it. Let's leave the city before anybody finds us.
Yes, and also I obviously lower my
Paranoia one
voice.
shot.
My voice. I don't say this out loud because that would be horrible because we're in the middle of the place. So the church that you recently poisoned is doing a water purification ritual in the park and discouraging people from using the wells.
Yes.
You're a poisoner who comes to this district to reap maximum damage, and you see some wells are broken. Who's to say why wouldn't you also poison those wells for when they then get fixed the following day? So the chaos is delayed a little bit, but no one's going to test the well water of a broken well because it's been broken.
So what you're
by
saying
us.
is you might have just aided the poisoners. I get it.
The furthest target is the last to get hit. As far as where we should be, the southernmost and easternmost ends of the Winden and Alt Market, and the Alt Quarter. If we take the furthest possible wells, those would be my target, because that's where the word is least likely to reach.
Ah.
I would ride out.
So we should really be going to the southeast, south, and the winds, because that's the furthest from the park. But the southern part of it, like down here, you see my pain?
Yeah, the furthest possible places are where I would start this. If I were to continue and try and spread it to as many as possible, I think that's the place where you'd have the most success, and I think that's the place where they would think that they'd have the most success.
Because it's heavily populated but far away.
And I'm not going to walk all the way to the Great Park from all the way out there, especially if I'm elderly.
This is true.
And elderly people don't like to change their habits. So
Yes.
they're going to the same well.
So the wind, just so you know, the
Dang it.
wind is mostly made up of like warehouses.
Yeah. That's what I was
Oh,
thinking. I was
so
gonna
it's
say, this is more
artisans,
residential
workshops
area.
and stuff like that.
This is
Okay.
like core residential area, right?
Did any of us have any information or knowledge of the witch hunter order?
No.
So we
I
don't
could
know
go
that these
research
people
it.
who say that they're witch hunters from that order are actually witch hunters from that order.
I wanted to go research it, but
Well,
at that time.
no, they had the hat.
They have
wearing
the
Their
Their
order.
credentials
clothes.
are they
the witch hunter
showed
hat,
up.
man.
Their credentials
the
are they
emblem.
showed
Yeah,
up on
they
a
had.
rumor.
Well, the only thing you know is they had
OF.
they had a symbol which is like a comet crossed with a sword. A comet is well-known symbol of Sigmar, and then a sword, whatever, and then it had OF either side of it. And they told you that they worked for a secret organization known as the Order Fidalis. But that's all you know.
Bertilda, that's a good question. We could go to the library and kill two birds with one warpstone.
You think the library has a book that has a picture of all the members of the order in it that we can just find?
Ask them what year they graduated, and then then you can go get their yearbooks.
Look for their signature.
The OF yearbook. You see it like an AV club. With the
Those left little notes that help.
Obviously, they're going to be like in the orchestra fans club or whatever. Because they're like, the fancy pants club, because they seemed pretty refined with the sniffing flowers and
Only one of
The
them.
baby burn, yeah, the
Suppose
baby
you-
burners,
Yeah.
the baby burners gang.
Yeah, in the photo, he'll be leaning forward, all interested, because
Yeah, there you go.
If you did kill two birds with one warp stone, do you think they would fuse or turn into two separate monsters?
Ooh.
Could be either, but I want to say fuse just because I want to imagine.
I also want to say fuse, just but I know that's also me just wanting this.
Yeah. Also
That's a
on
12,
that
13, yeah.
on that point though, Cadrell, would the poisoner want a bunch of old people to transform or youthful?
It doesn't matter who transforms as long as transformations
Well, I
are
mean,
happening.
old tentacle monsters having to use a walker is not very threatening.
Father Odo did not need a walker. We had to carry him into town, and then he nearly killed us.
We killed him. We didn't give him an opportunity to move. Really, he just kind of stayed there and took hits.
Right.
Yeah, once Father Odo
transformed,
he became a very capable and dangerous tentacle monster.
Okay, fair
I don't
enough.
think that would be the goal if they were just going to transform a bunch of people. Not necessarily the danger from the monsters, just that.
And that's why I say the church is the most likely.
Which is why I'm glad that we are not going there.
Because later when we find 3 dead witch hunters, it'll be really nice and easy.
Didn't like them anyway.
All right, so let's go to a section of this southern area and kind of just walk around all night.
So to give you kind of landmarks to help you decide, so things that you know. So this building right here, you know that to be the last drop. That's the seedy den of iniquity that tends to have things and secrets floating around. Across the street here is this massive great tavern, which was the Blazing Hearth. That was the halfling, the halfling tavern.
What's a halfling?
There's like an abattoir and a slaughterhouse down here.
They better not take out the halfling home.
It would be kind of funny though to see a bunch of little.
And then
monsters.
the only other
need the
thing.
food.
Okay, sorry. Yes, continue.
Yeah, I mean those are all of the main landmarks, I guess, that you know of so far.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah,
So,
this
this
one
one again. This one here is what again?
This one here was a slaughterhouse.
Okay, and
This
this
is Fletcher's
is
slaughterhouse. Over here,
is
that's
the
the Dwarf
dwarves,
Guild,
yeah.
down in this area.
Okay,
But
and
then
a lot
you're
of
down in the wine, so...
right. Most of these buildings on this side are kind of half burnt or destroyed. I mean, it's a very
A lot
poor
of
area.
these ones here in this area, yes, they are burned, damaged, and, like, as it looks on the map, like anything that's kind of decimated or black is pretty much burned or, so a lot of the houses here are. Now, the top quarter here and the bottom quarter here, and this kind of centralist area here are all pretty still intact.
Okay. So the wind being mostly warehouses and industrial, the population is not big because most people work there. They walk there, right? I mean, it's
Oh yeah. I mean,
more traffic for the days.
there are not many houses at all in that area. There's a few down here, but that's about it.
And this one is populous, but as Cadrell said, it's close to the park. So should we focus our efforts on the southern and northwestern part, southeast or northwest of the poor districts? I mean, that's what I'm asking. So
Yes, I think that's the most logical of the plan.
okay,
I like it because it's my plan.
sure. Yes. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kind of walk around these two areas together or apart, I guess.
And these areas here are the most dense, populated areas. A lot of these areas over here in the Altmark, like there are houses and stuff here as well, but there's also a lot of warehouses and stuff that kind of butt up to the wines. So, the Altmark is kind of half and half, whereas the Alt Quarter is all residential.
Should we split?
Albeit kind of burnt.
2 and 2, or just be together?
2 and 2 makes the most sense, and I don't like it.
I agree.
So we should do it because you don't like it.
Does it make sense?
It makes sense, and I don't like it.
What would you want to do?
I'd like to just find the guy responsible and dispatch him. just magically.
Okay.
You can do that, right? You can touch the butter and they
Do you know
appear.
any spells that
Yes,
lead you to
I can touch the
poison
butter.
us?
Summon.
Margarine. It's margarine for spraying.
Yes, I can touch the butter.
I can touch the
I mean,
butter.
T-shirt
Learn
that says
summon
that.
poisoner.
Okay, how about this? We split into two groups of two. One goes to the northwest, one group goes to the southeast, and we meet in the southwest as part of our patrol, so we can see each other every half hour or so. Like we come together and then split, and come together and split.
Okay.
That way we can avoid this destroyed section in the northeast, and we can get eyes on each other so we know if something has happened, right?
Yes, that sounds like a plan.
Sounds like fun.
It'll be a fun night. That's
It's not
for
gonna be fun at all
It's gonna suck.
because
You ever
it's
just
gonna
spend a
happen
whole
over
night
here.
Just walking around the city, you
Spend
know.
a
Now
whole
that we've
night
made
staying
this
up,
decision, it's gonna
suspecting
happen
everybody.
down here.
Just like, is he killing everybody? Is it that guy?
Someone just goes and dumps all the warpstone in
Any one of these
the
people.
pond at the Great Park. And now
That's
you
what I'm
have
saying.
hordes and hordes of mutated ducks and geese to battle.
Look,
And
I told
three-eyed
them to watch
goldfish.
the park, okay? I told them to watch
Side
the
note.
park.
The witch hunters do trust the church quite a bit if they're gonna say, yeah, no, the park should be covered, the church is there. Because like the only other people like we directly know of, like the only other party that isn't theoretical is the churchhood, and you know, that's where things went down.
Yeah, I mean
Not to
it's
suspect
obvious.
the
I mean
church,
it's
but-
obvious that the witch hunters believe that the Church of Ulrich is very competent. They just don't like how they do stuff.
Yeah.
It's
So
not, as I say, they're all on the same side. It's just you got, you know, as Bertilda said, you got one group that's willing to, you know,
murder for it.
it's kind of innocent, and you know, one side is innocent until proven guilty, the other is guilty until proven innocent. I mean, you know, that's not a, you know, witch hunters are not known for their,
Both cause casualties.
yeah. They would rather be sure, even if it means that a few innocent people have to die. It's better to make sure we get the chaos.
And the other side will let a few innocent people die to not kill an innocent.
Right. So, you know, let's not quarrel and argue over who killed who.
Man,
I
you're
mean,
really good at sugarcoating the murder here.
just dance around the death part. You're okay. You're all on the same page.
Exactly.
So,
They
okay.
did.
So give me your game plan. So you're wanting like two of you to kind of actively patrol this area, two of you to actively patrol this area, and kind of patrol down to the quarter and back.
Yeah, we'll meet down here every,
Okay.
I'd say, half hour.
Every patrol, right?
Every
Yeah.
patrol.
So basically, maybe like up to here, along to here, back to here, and then this group is like up to here, down to here, back to here, and you're kind of just going around like that sort of thing.
We'd try to detour to the wells as well. Like
Yeah,
get
obviously.
eyes
Yeah,
on the
so you want to
wells.
kind of figure out the closest route through all the different wells, and then make sure that you're patrolling through the areas with those. Okay,
And when we stop here, or like when we stop down here,
we slaughter some animals.
I would like to just listen for crazy noises coming from down here.
Okay, well, there is an abattoir and a slaughterhouse right here, so there's, you know, some good stuff
But
to hear
like
there.
screaming,
Yeah,
people
maybe
screaming.
if, you know, calves, lambs, stuff
Calves,
like that.
yeah, but people. I'm listening for people.
They'll be, oh my god, this water tastes awful!
No, like if somebody
Why have I grown
transforms,
2 tentacles?
if somebody transforms and other people see it,
Yeah,
wanna
I
be
get
able
what
to
you're
hear them
saying. That
screaming.
there'll be... You're basically listening for the outbreak of alarm should anything crazy occur.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, who wants to travel with me?
Yeah, that's the other thing. How are you dividing up your groups?
Who wants to be with me? I'm sorry.
Well, in terms of what our strengths are, unfortunately, that means I'm without Bertilda. I'm better at standing in the way of things, so if I were to have another person with me, it would be illogical that the two people who are best at standing in the way of things...
Separate?
So the best two to stand in the way of things in is Oldette and Bertilda.
Technically, from
Not
past
logically, but
Not logically,
factually.
as we've seen.
But I got butter magic.
So what I guess what I'm saying is,
So you guys are team captains, and you get to pick your team now.
Yeah, who gets picked last?
Matilda, you've been dragged through all of this. You can
Yeah.
choose your buddy at this
Who
point.
annoys you the least of us three?
She's not super fond of anybody right now.
But fucking elves, though.
Exactly. I think that she probably does feel the closest to
I just saw
Oldette.
Junk Farmer's.
I think so, yeah.
Just saw Junk Farmer's picture, dude. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
Oh no.
Okay, that's well checkers.
I mean, look at those. Look at those very attractive witch hunters, man. Seriously.
Hey. And they're all wearing the hats.
The tallest hat is the guy that we're dealing with, right? That's him.
Dude, yeah, the one with the ridiculously tall hat.
And then the somewhat skinnier brim guy is the gun boy. Yeah.
Yeah, spot the odd one out. The guy that
I never knew Warhammer
black
could be
band.
so funny.
Honestly, it flips between thinking you're going to die and then kind of wishing you had already.
Yeah. And they all stream on the same channel as well because they're all wearing no pants, so they're obviously streamers.
Obviously, yes.
Now I know why the White Wolves are scared of the witch hunters.
It's because of that shit right there.
It's because our junk's out. Notice this Junk Farmer that posted a picture of like 20 men's junk. Interesting.
It always is. Always is.
This is a photograph from his personal collection.
I'm fixated on the one who has his leg on his knee, in the front. Like, what is he doing with his hands?
It's ballet. He's practicing his ballet.
It's a strange pose, just saying.
Never mind. Okay. So you're setting up your little routes and you're going to go do things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get all of you give me observation checks. Oh, but before we do that, you know what? We need more appropriate sinistry type sounds going on in the background. So let's have some sinistry.
I was gonna say, is it break time?
We can do it.
Oh, we're getting
Well, I
towards
was
the
actually
end,
going to
right?
finish fairly sharp tonight anyway. So
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Just hold it, Satch.
Hold it, just for a minute.
My man training.
Okay.
Use a well.
All right. Yeah. Everybody, give me a perception roll, please.
All right.
Bonuses, should anybody have sniff warp dust as a thing?
Oh man.
Oh.
I wish.
I have resist chaos. That means that it's going to be like a magnet, right? If I'm pushed away from an area,
Right.
I know it's there.
You know you don't want to be there. Okay.
Not a single.
Hey!
Okay, Cadorel was successful. Okay. Question, who had the north and who had the south? And did we decide on the groups?
I thought the elves were going south, right?
Yeah.
Those the
were
elves
going
in the
down
southern
south.
part. Okay. Well, curiously, as you guys all meet, you all meet on the corner here for probably the third time that night, as you're beginning to be like, oh god, here we go again. Blah, blah. You are all aware of Cadorel's peering down in amongst these little tiny hovels that are right here. They're like the smallest houses. They're no more than probably little 30 by 30 simple structures. You notice that there is a cloaked individual, a cloaked hooded figure is kind of creeping past those and stops. And you kind of see him look left and right like he wants to make a dash across the main road to this section, but is making sure that nobody is aware. It's very, very late, and there are watchmen doing patrols. So a couple of watchmen have kind of just recently gone north, so you can kind of see him stop and hesitate as he's watching the watchmen leave, like he's letting them get further away before he does anything. With his focus on the watchmen, it does not appear that he's seen you guys hanging out across the other side of the street in amongst these damaged buildings. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, I'm just nudging Matthew Bain to let him in on it, just like that one there.
Okay.
He watches the.
And you're all there right now because this is like when you all came together. So.
Yep.
They're speaking their language.
Yeah.
We're just left in the dust here.
Oh,
We're about to go
Listen to
through
warp
our
dust.
own
in the
walks.
inferior dust.
Well, this
So
is
I'm
not how you
immediately-
treat me as a friend.
I'm immediately going to be like, everyone should hide now.
Touch the butter, just do it. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to say to everybody, in common, everyone should hide. I guess try to hide. And I'm going to try to get somewhere in darkness.
Well, that's not hard because it's very, very dark. These buildings are close together, and a lot of these buildings are kind of damaged. So, a couple of them here are kind of pretty much derelict. So you're able to just kind of slip in through the side of one of the damaged walls and hide in these buildings if you want to.
I do, but I kind of want to have a view of the street or the
Okay.
alleyway or something. So when he comes,
You can kind of work your way through one of the damaged buildings to the front, and kind of peer out one of the broken windows here, so you can.
Alright. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hiding because that's all I know to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Hide.
All right. So everybody hides, and Matthew Bain, you're just going to kind of go and peek, so you can kind of watch where that guy is.
Yes.
Cadarel, are you doing the same, or are you just going to hide?
I'd also be peeking.
Okay. Once he is convinced that the guards are far enough away and nobody else is there, the individual skulks across the road very quickly, and disappears like right down between, well, right past one of the buildings where you guys are all hiding. Clearly, he's unaware that you're there.
Do we see him holding anything incriminating?
Well, he's got a big cloak all the way wrapped around him, so there could be anything underneath that big cloak of his.
I guess the spell will make him drop that cloak.
Throw some butter at him.
Just
Drop
like
that
a flasher, drop that cloak.
Drop that cloak.
No. I don't think my drop spell works that way. So
Yep. All right, so he skulks past the building and is continuing on into the alt quarter.
Track him?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
you
wanna
guys want
keep
to follow him?
a close eye on him.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow it more of a distance than everybody else so that I don't.
Make too much noise.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Screw us.
We're really bad at this, I remember.
We are really bad at this.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
I
none
can
of you are
follow a
really
trail, but
trackers as such.
I
But
can't shadow. I can
Yep.
track. I can't shadow.
that's it. So none of you have follow trail as a skill yet.
Oh, I have follow trail. I do
Okay.
have follow trail. I just don't have like shadowing.
Yeah, well, follow. Okay, so follow trail. I mean, that would allow you to kind of
Pick up where he's
see
been.
where he's going. Shadowing, as you say, would allow you a little bit more. So it's up to you if you want to just kind of try to track his footprints and stuff like that. His passing, you can do that with follow trail, or you can all just kind of attempt to
Well, I mean, how
shadow him.
busy is it? It's nighttime, right?
It's not that busy at all. No, I mean there are still a few people out on the streets, but not enough that a careful and quiet individual can't like work his way through all these
Right.
tightly.
So he's actively avoiding anybody out on the street. That
Absolutely, yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Okay. So
Do we know of a well in this area that we'd like previously?
Well, I
scouted?
mean, there's like a well over here and a well here. So technically, from the route he's going, he could be going for either of those wells, or he could just, be going here because it's the quickest way to get into the alt quarter and head north. I mean,
Yeah, I was just thinking because if there was one in the immediate vicinity, we could kind of like flank almost.
there is one right here
off.
if you wanted to try to make haste and kind of get around him and get to that well ahead of him. Because he is moving so cautiously and quietly, he's moving slow. So if any of you was to kind of like get a couple of streets down and like run your way around, you could probably get to that well before he did. Especially any of you that had long legs or were fleet-footed.
Yeah, I was thinking if we split up and had some way to head in case we couldn't follow. Man, we need hand signals.
Sure, I cast light.
You want me to poke you in the eyes on the roof?
Yeah.
I have my marsh lights go out there because that's not obvious.
Woo! Okay.
What do you mean you don't have sudden death spell?
So yeah, he's kind of, as I said, he's still kind of moving in that direction, picking his way through the buildings. So you need to make a decision, or you're going to lose him.
I mean, I can follow trail. That's probably my best move.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do we want to split up or no?
I don't.
No?
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to try to run round and get ahead of him to get to the well before he does, or are you just going to try to follow
I'm
that
not
trail
fast
and hope?
enough for that. That's what I would like to do, but I'm not fast enough.
Okay.
If
Also,
only
you're
there was a
loud.
small, fast person.
I'm not that fast. I'm only as fast as you guys because I'm fleet-footed. Like, I'm just as fast as anybody.
Her legs are very, very, very small. That doesn't make her
They
run
go
very
fast,
fast.
but they're small.
But you'd still be moving faster than the person in question because they're sneaking around. Just something to think about. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
I'll
gonna follow
go.
the
I'll
trail.
take off.
I'll go.
I'll go.
I'll butter her feet.
I'll go.
Nope,
I'll
I'm going.
go.
No, you
Don't
have
butter
to
the
have
feet.
me.
Don't.
She'll
You
fall
drop
down.
your.
They'll keep calling me. He'll make me feel guilty. I'll go.
I'm going. No, I'm running. I'm
Wow,
leaving.
we killed her completely.
Okay.
Might
All
be
right. So you
powerful motivator.
flee off down the side
No,
alleys and try to
I'm
get around to him. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you'll be able to because he is moving incredibly slowly. And you guys know where the well is, so technically, even if you fail to follow trail, you know where the well is. So
Hopefully he's going to it is really the thing.
yeah.
Well, if he's not going there, we'll go to the other two wells.
That's it.
Or east.
They'd have- they'd have
The
to
question
split up
is this well here one that you have damaged or not?
No.
I
No.
don't
we
think it
damaged
is because
this
I don't
way.
think you've been down here, right?
We damaged here and then here on our way to the park.
Okay. All right. How far behind him do you want to be? Like, how far back? I know that Matilda is staying even further back so that she doesn't give you guys away.
So so this is like Metal Gear Solid. If his range is 30 feet, we're 31 feet. That's how that works. Outside that cone.
If we see the exclamation point go up, we're
We
gonna
stop. If the eye starts to get bigger, we stop moving. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a ton of footprints in the snow for a long time so they follow it.
That's it. You're round and round and round. Okay.
No,
This is in my imagination.
I mean,
It's fine. Just grab a cardboard box. We're cool.
I mean, a good way back, trusting that he's going to the well so you make sure he's not aware of you, or you kind of getting up there so that you can pounce on him quickly, I guess is what
I guess it really will hinge on how confident Cadrell is on his follow trail, right? Like,
Yeah,
if he seems to see the trail, we can be further back.
Well, give me a
I've got-
follow trail roll then.
I've got like 3 shots on follow trail if this fails. But it's a 40%, so it's a failure.
Okay. So you can re-roll it with a fortune point if you wish.
Honestly, kind of hinges on this. This is a
But follow
struggle.
trail, I mean, you'll be able to tell if there's a trail for you to follow or not. So.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
Move
phew.
it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. Seeing as this area is kind of pretty beaten up and damaged and stuff like that, you know, the streets are not that clean, and you are able to kind of see the fairly fresh kind of scuffed boot prints as you're following along through the mud. They don't stay very fresh for very long because they kind of like slowly fill out, but there's a fairly thick layer of scum on the streets here, so you are able to see prominent boot prints that are kind of heading off in that direction.
Yeah. Once I have a bit more confidence in that, I'm gonna be like, okay, we can fall back a bit more and lose sight of them. It's okay.
Okay. All right. In that case, Aldette, I'm assuming you're like hiding in view of the well.
Yeah.
All right. You see the individual creep over, like at the edge of a building, and when he's sure no one's well, very low and slow, he skulks over to the base of the well itself. From underneath his cloak, he pulls out what appears to be a small, thick black bag. Holding onto it, you also notice that he places the bag on the top of the well, like on the brim, and then, kind of pulling his cloaks back, he kind of reaches into his side pocket to pull out a pair of what looks like blacksmith's gloves, like real thick. Now, when he does that, give me a spot check or a perception check.
Or tall?
He's a human, yeah. Give me a perception, please.
Do I get a bonus for being awesome? I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
I think you get a bonus for being awesome.
Look,
There
I
it is.
did.
That's the
There you
bonus.
go. That's the bonus. All right. In the glint of the moonlight, as he kind of like, pulls his arms back, you notice he has tattoos on his hands. On his right hand, let me make sure I give you the right order here.
It says OF. It stands for something else.
The GF.
Tattoo on his right hand.
And let me see.
Change my page.
It stands for obvious felon. He's obviously a felon.
Does the F have a teardrop tattoo beneath it?
No, hold on.
He has a face tattoo. It looks like a tiger, but it didn't turn out so good, so it's hard to tell.
I know I read that. Where I wrote it down. Where did I put it? Which one? Which hand
The
was which?
tattoo of
Because
the
it's
white
relevant.
wolf. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, here we are.
My first thought was that this was
Okay.
the one high priest.
So
wolf
on the
guy
back of his
speaking out.
right hand, he has a smaller hand symbol, which basically looks like a purple hand, part of the Purple Hand Gang. So, on the back of his hand, like right here, there's like a little purple hand tattooed. On the other hand is a much more ominous symbol. Give me a common knowledge empire roll.
Nope.
Oh, 100. That's a good fail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feeling lucky.
Okay, on the
You
other
think
hand, it's kind
it
of a
looks like a
weird,
clover.
almost like a
4-H.
weird kind of snakish symbol with a big circle in the center of it. It is also kind of purplish.
Death Eater. Knew it.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, trusting that my friends are behind him,
Uh-huh.
because that was the plan,
Nope, we're
Right.
gone.
Okay,
I'm gonna shoot him.
all right.
Oh.
So yeah, as he's, so right now, you see that, and then you see him kind of put the bag down on top, reach into his tunic, and pull out these thick leather gloves. Okay, so
like
yeah,
to shoot.
that's when you want to shoot him. Go for it.
Can I
Damn.
aim it? Are you gonna let me aim?
Yeah, you can absolutely.
Wait, stand, probably.
Yeah, you've got time.
Cool.
If you crouch, you get an extra 5%.
Aim gives me 10, right?
Yep, aim gives you plus 10.
I keep wanting to say it's plus 20, but the
And this
negative
counts
is
as a
20.
sneak attack, so you could one-shot him.
Oh!
An 8. All right. Yeah, you're gonna plug him right in the back.
Dude, imagine you're just out on your own, just enjoying the night, poisoning some peasants, and you just get
Somebody just
shot in the-
shoots you. Okay.
From
All
the
right. He
dirt.
has no armor. He has a toughness bonus of 3. So that is 5 wounds. Okay. Okay. So basically, yeah, the arrow kind of rips through his cloak and stings him in the left side. Obviously, it didn't stick into him because you see the arrow kind of glance through and hit the side of the well. He's like, ah! And like, as soon as he yelps, he muffles himself, dropping the gloves. Right? He spins around immediately to look to see what it was that shot him. And then as an afterthought, he grabs the bag, pulls it to him, and pulls out a long knife from his tunic. And almost like at that point, then as I say, he just kind of stops, crouches down, and is looking into the darkness to see what's going on. Now, you guys would have heard a muffled kind of yelp from a couple of buildings ahead in that
You
direction.
guys know how reckless I am.
So,
Yeah, that's our cue. Like,
Yeah.
we're running in at that point.
okay, y'all want to run?
Yeah.
Okay, well then everybody give me an initiative roll, which you remember is a D10 plus your
It's an initiative button.
There's a button.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you've all got buttons for it. Okay. And let me roll for him. And his total is an even 40. Okay. So you guys have got to get there. So it's gonna take you at least a round to get from where you are to where he is. So Aldette, you will still be before him, so you get to act before he does.
I have to reload and I guess I can just shoot.
You can reload and shoot, or you can reload and aim.
I mean, statistically, I should just shoot.
Statistically, you should just shoot.
I don't have time to aim because I don't have friends between me and him. When they're there, I can aim. I can have that luxury.
Okay, all right. So you knock an arrow and let it loose.
Damn.
And you shoot him in the face.
Oh my god.
Oh, dead.
All right. Roll the damage.
So
For
low.
9. Okay.
What the fuck?
So 6. All right. He's down to a wound. All right. He winces in pain. And with that, he is, on his turn, he is just gonna run. He's gonna run back the way he came because that's logic.
Yes.
Because obviously, you know, so yeah, you guys, as you're like charging up, suddenly you see a guy come charging around the corner, kind of with one eye closed, blood dripping down his cheek, and a deep gash all the way across here, clutching a small bag and holding a knife. As he kind of sees you, he yells, "Be careful! There are footpads! Footpads will attack you!" And then he acts like he wants to carry on running past you.
I'm gonna clothesline him when he goes to run by me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So based on the remainder of your initiatives, let's see. Matthew Bain, technically you get to go first.
Yes, I am going to, without using butter, because it's all melted by now, I'm sure. I am going to get him to drop the knife with a spell. So I'm going to channel.
I want the knife. Okay.
Wait, so I see. Do I see the bag as well? Or
Yes. He's got a knife in one hand and the bag in the other. The bag is like a bag like yay big, you know.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna get him to drop the or hopefully get him to drop the bag, not the knife.
Okay.
So.
The knife ain't gonna do anything against the lioness.
So wait a minute. How's your day, guys? What about them Yankees? You know.
So you successfully channel your energies.
Yeah, no, I already pressed the button. I'm waiting for it to
And
go.
oh, there it is.
The
And
bag.
you succeed. You compel a target character within 24 to drop whatever he is holding. The subject spell can resist with a successful willpower test. His
It's
willpower
just
is
fluoride.
36.
He's just trying to make the water like better for everybody.
So he needs to roll a 36
Yeah, it's
or
charcoal
less. And he fails. So the bag slides neatly from his hand and plops
My
down
logic is,
onto the
if
ground.
he's innocent, he'll just let it fall. But since he's probably guilty, he will want to retrieve it, right?
Okay.
That's the logic.
With
He's
that
also running
being
for his
said,
life, though.
Well, we don't-
Cadil Rel, you may now do something.
That's true.
I'm just gonna try and tackle the guy. I know this is never successful for me because I'm
Okay.
purely
So you're
just an
basically
archer.
making a weapon skill roll.
Yeah. It's not pretty.
Okay, and he is making a weapon skill roll. Oh, he doesn't have 1d200. That's cheating. This is
Don't do
36.
that. Don't cheat.
Okay, he passes. All right, so you dive to tackle him. As you do so, he just kind of sidesteps a little bit and then just like uses his arm to kind of like push you to the side as you lose balance and slip in the mud. So he
my
kind of like
goddamn
will
whip.
weasel past you. And it would now be the turn of Bertilda Rosemond.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna
you
try to
you're
clothesline
basically
him.
trying to clothesline him. So weapon skill roll, because yours is an actual attack.
I love this. I love this so much.
All because of old Death's craziness, which I love.
Don't piss off a halfling with that bow.
They told the halfling
she'll
to
have
run
your eye
ahead.
out. Nice 4. Okay. Yep. Roll percentage dice to see where you hit him. I mean, it's a clothesline, so it's either going to be across the head or the body. So, a 40. That's going to be. How does that read? On the improvised chart, 45. Okay, yeah. So your clothesline like goes right across the top part of his chest. And you are going to do improvised damage. So it's your damage is D10 minus D10 minus. So it's strength bonus minus 3. So what's your strength bonus?
3.
3. Okay, so it's a straight D10 then. For actual damage. 6. Okay. Yeah, so he basically runs, slams into it. It's an improvised attack, so it can't do critical damage, but you're still going to roll the crit. You're still going to roll a crit. And it's a body crit. And it would be a crit of 2. So roll it, but ignore what it says, because that's not going to apply. But I'll tell you what does apply instead.
Okay, so here we go.
To do a 2 crit to the body, yeah. Okay, rib busted for ferocity of attack. Character takes 10, and that's a critical roll of 81 on a 2. Okay, so basically what happens is he kind of like runs in, you clothesline him, he slams into it. It doesn't knock him like completely off his feet, but as he hits it, he's like, and it like knocks all the wind out of his lungs. So it like, and he stops clean in his tracks. He's effectively stunned for the next round. So Aldette, you're back there. You see him run down through, and you just suddenly heard like a whole bunch of commotion, and then a loud thump followed by a
Taken off. I'm gonna go after him.
All right. You run down there. You'll run around the corner, and basically see him kind of standing there, just after Bertilda has just clotheslined him right across the chest and knocked all the wind out of him. Okay. With that being said, Matthew Bain.
I am going to immediately go for the bag because I want to see if he is in fact.
Okay, so you're going to run over and pick up the bag
and open it, kind of recklessly. I mean, kind of quickly, like not really with a because I didn't see him with the gloves, right? So I'm just going to open the bag.
Fine.
Shit! If this thing's broken, god.
You kind of like it's got like a tie around it, so you like undo the tie and pop it open.
Yes.
Okay. Now, being that it is incredibly fine dust.
Shit.
A little cleft of it is going to go out of the top as you kind of pop it open. You need to give me a toughness test, sir. And
I might be using a fortune point to reroll this.
I'm just having a look to see. Skill contact with a small amount. Okay. Easy plus 20.
No, I'm rerolling. Plus 20, you said?
Yep, because it's considered...
You still fell.
I still fell. So, yeah.
I still fell by 2.
Yeah, so I'm definitely re-rolling.
Okay.
With a 20. I guess I'll put the 20 in this time so we... Shit. Okay.
Oh my god!
Okay.
You don't have any more of those?
I mean, because I don't have any context that, it would be a dust.
Yeah,
I think
you might want to save it as a fate point at the end of it.
I might. Yeah. Well,
right.
That's why you don't split the party, gang.
You're not split.
You're with the group.
You're all together.
No, but Odette went all rogue.
You told me to go rogue.
She didn't make you
why
recklessly open a bag of
play.
warpstone dust, though. You can't blame that one on her.
This is the thing. This is exactly why you do exactly what you're doing. You're creating a moment of tension, and everybody appreciates you, Shaggy. You're gonna die.
That's fun of you. Okay.
Like, thank you.
You're welcome. I love you all. I just want you to know.
Sorry.
You're not wrong, Prepper Jack. Like, I would have immediately thought, oh, this is probably warp stone in this bag.
Roll the percentage dice.
Yo.
Oh, guys. We're all gonna have to start killing him now.
Well, we're not witch hunters.
A 78. Okay.
I might be in the future. You know how cool they are?
I didn't see Prepper. I didn't recklessly look. I misspoke, but I didn't take necessary precautions because all I know is that a guy was attacked by what I assume was Aldette, running. He didn't reach for his bag while running after it was dropped.
Now,
so
I mean, I'll give you this. I understand why your character would have done what he did.
I want to make sure.
So, I mean,
before
at least
doesn't mean that it was smart.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
but
it's not necessarily the
in the moment kind of reaction. Like,
yeah, that
before
that
we
does
get
make
him
sense.
killed, let's make sure he has the poison, right? That's where my Matthew Bain's mind is.
You are.
Because he doesn't want to like look in the bag and see a bunch of fluffy bunnies and be like, "Don't kill him," you know.
He's kind of being an anti-witch hunter right
Should
now.
we still kill him? He was about to drown a bunch of fluffy bunnies. I'm just saying.
Kill him anyway,
Maybe
right?
he wanted them to get a drink of water.
Oh god, here we go.
It's too funny.
Okay. So yeah, little cloud of dust goes into the air, and
You apparently saw it and went.
Warpstone
Are you
dust.
writing me what happens?
Don't
Or-
read
no,
this.
I'm not. I'm double checking something. So yeah, you have a choice. You are going to basically you are about to receive a chaos mutation. You may spend a fate point if you wish to buy it away.
Now, can I hear what the mutation is before?
Could be
Yeah,
something
I'll
cool.
tell you.
I mean, it might be really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. I mean, no, that's fine. Yeah, I'll tell you. You can choose to keep it or not.
Hey, I'm
Alright,
the kind of player who will keep it, most likely. Let's be real here.
All right. Yeah, you're going to grow a hog snout. Your nose will kind of grow into that looks exactly like a pig, like a huge, big, bulbous hog snout with the hairs and everything. A very obvious chaos mutation. It's up to now. Physically, it will infer you with no ill effects. In fact, it'll give you a +10 perception on any roll that is related to smell.
I
But
love that.
you will look very
Weird as fuck.
obviously mutated.
Oh, shit. And we're dealing with witch hunters,
So
too, right?
it is your choice. If you wish, you can accept it, or you may remove a fate point from your character to buy away this unfortunate turn of events.
I know what you're thinking, Shagget.
Can I get away with it? Can
You
I
do.
roleplay my way through life?
I
with
am
a
honestly
freaking
thinking
big
about,
snout?
like,
Just
imagining...
wear a badass ninja mask.
Yeah,
right?
wearing a mask. Because I already have pock marks on my face.
Yeah,
Let's keep
you're
that in
already
mind.
hideous.
I'm
Like,
not an attractive elf by any stretch of the imagination. Now, the witch hunters, I mean, obviously I'm not thinking like in that point in time. Yeah, I'm keeping it. Fuck it. Let's
Okay, all right.
let's play Warhammer, guys. Let's do
Okay,
it.
Let's
then
play
mark on your
Let's
sheet
play
that you have a
Warhammer.
chaos mutation, and you
I
have
just put
a
that-
pig snout.
Where do-
But you also got effectively
Really good
you've
sense
got
of smell.
keen sense of smell, which gives you +10 on any smell
All right, so
related.
I guess
tests.
under talents, put in keen sense of smell, right?
Let me see if there's an
I mean-
actual talent for it, or if it's just something you need to put on separate. Hold on.
Okay,
Um,
because you can add to that, obviously.
yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna have to kill the Order Fidelis.
You have to kill the Order of Shagget.
No,
Hey, my sense of smell is gonna rock you guys in the future episode. Just you wait and see.
Here I am.
I really hope
Bark
it
you like
does.
a
That'd be
piggy
so
wig.
good.
I'm gonna save this party with my sense of smell.
Hey, if
So
if
good.
all else fails, you can make a good. You know, if the wizard thing doesn't work out, you could always hire yourself out to sniff truffles or something.
Yeah, you could snuffle truffles for a living.
Truffle snuffler.
I am not going into the
Snuffle
sewers
those
though.
truffles.
That's for
What
sure.
what are the advancements for truffle snuffler?
that could be your next career path.
The career path for it is career
Okay,
exit.
so it is keen. It's keen sense of
The
smell.
advancements are career.
And it's
Okay,
actually
so it is-
plus 20, not plus 10.
Keen sense of smell.
Keen sense of smell, which basically gives you plus 20 on perception tests if they are smell related.
Okay.
Jesus.
So hey, it's a nice ability if you can ziggy biggy,
Avoid
ziggy biggy.
witch hunters.
If you can not be burned for it, yeah. Wonder if they burn you, whether there's a slight
Oh,
smell of bacon in the air. Who knows? Okay. So to confirm, yes, there is a bag of warp dust. You're very sure of that at this point. Especially as you're like, as your nose begins to grow. Okay. So meanwhile, as Matthew Bain is embracing his new schnoz, who was next on the initiative order? What does Caterrell wish to do? The guy is basically stunned because he ran into the wall that was Bertilda's arm. And
Yeah,
he's
I'd
kind of
like
like
to just-
gasping for breath.
Kind of get a good hold on him then. At that point, if I can. He's,
Okay, at this point, if you want to grab him, you will succeed because he's
Yeah.
basically helpless. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
You grab
keep
him.
from running.
Aldette, you run around the corner. You will probably see Matthew Bain kind of with his hand
You'll
over his
definitely
face.
see me first. Gotta
And you'll see
Oh, you're
Aldette
gonna
kind of
play it up,
standing
too.
in front of the cloaked figure, and then Caterrell kind of grabbed hold of him kind of from behind. What do you want to do?
She would see the bag and be like, I would be careful with that. It looked like he was going to drop it into the well.
Information I could have used yesterday.
I'm glad that you're telling me that. Now.
Now for
Yes.
those truffles.
I'm
Okay.
gonna need a mask right away.
Okay. So the apprehended guy is now like gasping to try to get breath back in his lungs. But at this point, I mean, he's kind of like, he's held there and was restrained, but he's still got his knife. As you start to kind of notice, he's beginning to kind of like get his faculties back a little bit. What does anybody wish to do?
He's got a
At
knife.
this point,
Grabbing-
you don't really need to roll initiatives at this exact moment in time. You can just tell me what you want to do.
Okay, I'm gonna grab him around the wrist that's holding the knife,
Okay.
and I'm gonna twist his arm.
And
to
make him
sort of-
drop the knife. Okay.
I'm trying
Go
to spin
ahead
him around and
and
shove him
give
to the
me
ground.
a common knowledge empire roll. When you do that, because you're going to see a symbol on that hand, so... Success! Okay, on the back of his hand, as I said, it's kind of like a... I'll draw it really quickly on the map, just so you can see it.
Ooh, art time. I'm zoomed out and ready to witness. Okay, we got a circle. And got a little spike, a little concentric spike. It's going the other way. Is it arcing up or down?
I say up.
I'm saying down. It's gonna make
You
like
have
an
pretty
eyeball.
good control over your mouse there.
Ooh, it's squiggly. We were both
Okay,
right.
which is the chaos symbol of Zench, the god of the Changer of Ways. Not the Changer of Ways. Sorry, the what is he? What is his nickname? Zench is the blah blah blah. I've drawn a blank. Oh God, what do they call him? What is Zench? Yeah, he is the changer of ways. That's right. Yeah, he's the one that's into kinky shit and stuff.
Like pig snouts?
Yeah, no, not really pig snouts. Although, maybe.
You guys are funny.
So, yeah. Changer of ways. He's the chaos god of change, evolution, intrigue, sorcery. He who weaves the thread that connects every action, plot, and subtle intrigue into a galaxy-wide kind of weaved web of
dance
trouble, really.
So he's a troublemaker, essentially.
Yeah, he's generally
He's Loki.
speaking just kinda, but bad, very, very, very bad. He is like also known as the Raven God. He is really what's the easiest way to... His manifestation is really kind of... he's all... Like, great chaos sorcerers generally follow Zench. He's the sort of god that really likes to cause chaos and like unrule and unrest and all of that sort of stuff. Whereas Khorne is about blood and killing, whereas Nurgle is about the spreading of disease and stuff like that. He is all about, changing things to a more non-conform way. Hence the fact that a lot of mutations and shit tend to happen in and around Zench-related stuff. So, makes some sense why he's somehow connected with this. Okay, but yeah, so as you twist his hand and wrench the knife from his hand, you're going to see that symbol is on his person, on the back of his hand. On the other hand, he has the little purple hand symbol, which looks exactly like a little purple hand. So,
getting marks of intrigue flashbacks to the purple.
Yeah, we're shoving his face into the dirt. This guy's going down.
That's kind of where it's from.
I guess it is, yeah.
Yeah, you got it from.
That was where I kind of originally stole the first mark because I didn't have the art. I didn't have any artwork to use, so I just snatched it and used it. But there you go. Okay. But yeah, okay. So he's disarmed. Yeah. So situation is as is. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, my back is still to the entire party.
Yep.
I'm not facing you guys.
You did call for a mask, right?
No, actually, no. I mean,
he said I need a mask.
You said you need one though, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna have put my hood up, and for now, just lifted my shirt like over like this, and I'm holding it there as I turn to you guys.
Where have I seen that before?
Is everything okay?
No. Not at all. No. Hi.
Hi. What is wrong with him? What happened?
He fetched that bag that he was holding. It's fair to assume.
I'm too busy shoving the other dude's face into the dirt.
You guys are still gonna, agree, right? Be my friends, right?
What are you talking about, Matthew Bain?
You are now the superior elf. Yes.
Okay,
Well, his hand's kind of over it, so I'm going to say at the moment, probably they can't really see what it is.
Do we have
Plus
something to bind this guy's hands behind his back with?
Yes, I'm sure we have something.
It's actually really hot to do that constantly.
I've got like all of the stuff for the tent, which we've used before.
Okay, yeah, you got
We'll
some
tie
twine.
the bag. Like, we tied up the bag with the artifact at that point. So
Yeah, yeah, you've got that.
we can do that.
What have you done with the bag of dust? The
I
warpstone
cinched,
dust.
I cinched it right back up.
Okay, so you've got it though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Put your tongue in it, lick it.
Is this him? Is he the one who was poisoned in the wells?
Yes, very much so.
It seems to be so.
Guilty.
I think that we should perhaps not walk him into the square. We should lead them here.
I'm gonna have to do all my Thursday streams with the COVID mask on, aren't I?
No, I just need you to go to a joke shop or something and buy a pig nose.
I have pig nose, but I don't want to show it to people.
Okay.
That's fine. You can put the pig nose on and then put a mask over it.
Over it.
Okay, so I'm gonna shove my knee into his back, and I'm gonna be like, "Well, go fetch a white wolf." Or...
We can hand this gentleman to the White Wolves. I think we should hand... Who should the dust go to?
The White Wolves.
Okay. He blurts out, he goes, "It doesn't matter! We are many!"
I'm gonna punch him in the back.
Okay. Right, he'll just like, ah! Let out a wince.
Nobody asked you. Or is somebody gonna go?
Well, Ded's thinking about it because she has sort of like witch hunter aligned at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a. I'm just gonna be like, I'll go get whoever's at the park nearest. We need to get him into custody now. He might be our only source of information.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna think on that as I'm going towards the park just for a moment and be like, if he's our only source of information and we're questioning him via the churchhood, I don't know if they're gonna get it out of him.
My thoughts exactly.
And I'm thinking about the witch hunters and how they would be much better at this. But then I'm also thinking that Matthew Bain just sniffed a bunch of much more illegal version of coke and is experiencing the effect. So at
Do
that
you
point,
know that though? I mean, I'm just.
well, you grabbed the bag. Right? You grabbed the bag. I've inferred at this point that it was Warpstone dust, and then you covered your face and called me the superior elf. I'm assuming you mean you've been tainted.
You're not wrong.
Like, I'm not smart, but I have common sense enough to survive, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm still gonna go to the park, and I'm just gonna go with the church then and grab whoever looks suitable for the task of dragging.
Well, by this time, they're not at the park anymore. They're done.
Oh no!
So, but it's not much further to the temple.
But a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. He says, "Even now, my brethren are preparing to go out and poison more wells. Even now. I was just the first. You'll see. But by this evening,
I want to throttle him till he is unconscious.
I mean, yeah. If you want to knock him out, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock him out. I don't need him to continue talking.
Okay. All right. So from here, all the way over. So you're going to head all the way over here. It's going to take you probably a good 45 minutes to get to the Temple of Ulrich.
I believe. Did I leave my horse there, or?
Your horse was stabled somewhere.
Because like we brought it back up, and I don't think we ever settled where I would.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I assume you didn't have it with you when you were like patrolling the streets in Subterfuge, because you'd have been kind of obvious riding around on a horse.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. So I figure, like, if there is a stablery at the Church of Ulrich, probably, I mean, they're a war-geared
I mean, there was the closest place the closest safe place to have stabled a horse to here would have been the halfling place.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking it would get me there faster if I grabbed
Yeah,
a horse.
okay, that's fine. It's logic that you would have done that. All right, yeah, so you're going to get your horse and ride all the way over. In that case, you'll probably be back in, instead of it taking you 45 minutes each way, you can probably get there in 20. Maybe, probably less than that if you gallop down the main street, so maybe, 15 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, so once you get to the Church of Ulrich, you can do whatever you're going to do, but we're going to leave it right there because we said we want to make sure we didn't go too late tonight.
Good point.
So, so as of now, you have apprehended what you believe to be the individual in question.
An individual.
Right there.
According to him.
And
He thinks he has friends, weirdo.
He has admitted already. He's
Yes.
guilty.
That's right. He has admitted that while you're messing around with him, he has other friends that are out poisoning more wells.
And they're disguised as witch hunters. I'll never.
Okay, all right. But yes, that's a good place for us to stop tonight. So we will go ahead and wrap things up there and continue on our adventures next week. Y'all take care and have a great weekend. Bye, y'all. Bye.